At Cordia, we approach from a different point of view, asking what's next instead of what now, perfecting solutions long before they are needed. Our team pushes boundaries, asks tough questions, and explores every possibility. We drive innovation so the energy you rely on today paves the way to a more sustainable tomorrow. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
I know that my voice is valued at Schneider Downs.
Tax analyst Brianna Lundy.
I don't see myself anywhere else. I find that Schneider Downs is a perfect fit for me and the career that I want. I am within a small group, but we have huge overlapping goals with where the company sees itself moving forward, and I think that is a great opportunity to write my own career story.
Learn how you can grow your career at schneiderdowns.com.
Hey, Chad Tyson for Budweiser. Budweiser wants you to drink wiser. And here's the thing, 91% of you are already drinking wiser by designating a driver or getting a ride home after a night out. That means an overwhelming majority of you choose not to drink and drive. So have fun, but make that plan to make it home safe and be a passenger, not a driver. Like I said, good news is most of you are already making the right choice. But what would be even better is for everyone to drink wiser. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The sound of an ice-cold Corona is music to my ears. Oh, run that back. Dope. Now drop that beat. And hit me with the hook, player. Hey, whatever you do with your fine life, just do you, player. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
The Big Spring Spirits Distillery was designed around being leaders in environmental stewardship. They're a gold-level LEED certified distillery with grain sourced from local farmers and is used to create their handcrafted corn, rye, wheat, and American whiskeys. The Big Spring water that runs behind our distillery is rainwater that is filtered through limestone, and that is what makes our spirits so exceptional. Visit their 2 tap rooms in Seven Fields or Bellefonte for complimentary tastings or buy online at BigSpringSpirits.com. Big Spring Spirits, proud partner of Duquesne Athletics.
Welcome to Moe's! Starving but no time? Just order ahead on the Moe's app with a few taps. Then pick up your burrito or bowl and devour it wherever. Plus, with the Moe's app, you can save your faves and get rewards. No wonder everyone's loving phone to table.
Hi, I'm Mike Leon of Leon's Billiards and More in Wexford. As most people know, we are the premier pool table dealer in the tri-state area. I get this all the time. What does the more mean? To get the answer, visit our beautiful showroom and check out our large selection of shuffleboards, foosball, air and dome hockey, video games including Golden Tee, darts, and game room furniture. Leon's guarantees that nobody will beat our price, quality, selection, and service. 724-934-5888. Leon'sBilliards.com.
Welcome to Moe's!
The best club in town is the Chicken Club. It's got all natural white meat chicken, bacon, and Chipotle ranch. Build your quesadilla, burrito, or bowl through Moe's.com or the Moe's app.
I'm attorney Ed Shenderovich. When searching for a personal injury attorney, 3 questions really matter. Will the attorneys whose names are on the door be involved in your case? Do they have a 99.7% success rate over 25 years? Is their fee only 25%, not 40%? Every time, all the time, no matter if the case goes all the way to the Supreme Court. In Western PA, only one law firm can answer yes to all 3 questions. Shenderovich, and Fishman. For a free consultation, call 888-98-TWINS. We've got your back, not your wallet.
This is a special presentation of Duquesne Athletics on ESPN Pittsburgh and the iHeartRadio app. Welcome to the UPMC Health Plan pregame show. UPMC Health Plan, the official health plan of Duquesne Athletics.
And it's time for Duquesne basketball. Welcome to the Mike's Beer Bar lead-in show with Tim Benz, Ray Goss reporting to you from the Chi Health Center Arena in Omaha, Nebraska, as the Duquesne Dukes are set to take on the BYU Cougars in the first round of the NCAA playoffs. This radio broadcast is brought to you by UPMC and UPMC Health Plan, the official health care provider and health plan of Duquesne Athletics. Well, the long wait is over. 47 years. 1977 was the last time the Dukes made it to what's called the Big Dance But with those 4 big wins in Brooklyn, the Dukes are here.
And now they're looking for their first win since 1969, which was your first year calling games, Ray. And I've been calling games with you here for 4 games, and here I am in the tournament. I think it's kismet. I think it's karma. I think that means good things for the Dukes. I think that means we're going to be here on Saturday. I believe Peyton Manning once said he estimated that he said Omaha at the line of scrimmage over 1 million times in his life. I want to say Omaha at least twice, today and then again on Saturday before they advance to the Sweet 16. Let's see if they can make it happen.
That would be nice. In the other half of this draw, it's Illinois, the number 3 seed against Morehead State. Meanwhile, BYU is the 6th seed, and Duquesne comes in and the 11th seed. How about BYU? They are in the Big 12. They moved from the Big East or the Far West to the Big 12 their first year in the league, and there are 8 teams out of the 14 going to the NCAA playoffs. That's amazing.
And they are the highest scoring team of that league and of the teams that qualified for the NCAA tournament. They shoot a lot of threes. We're going to talk about that extensively throughout the course of the pregame show. It's up to the Dukes to guard against that, and they've got to be ready to get out on transition and take the points that are there when the opportunity is afforded to them, because I think in the big picture, Ray, Keith Dambrot wants to limit the possessions as much as possible, slow it to a crawl, and make BYU be as efficient from the three-point line as possible, because if they're cold, they're beatable.
They average 81.8 points a ball game. On the other side, the Dukes are in at a 71 per game, but they hold people to 50s and 60s, and that's why they win and come in here with an outstanding 24-11 record, 10-8 in the A10. They've won 8 games in a row. The Cougars come in at 23-10, and they were 10-8 in their league. As they get set, both teams are on the court here at this beautiful facility called the Chi Health Center. It's CHI, and I checked with them. I said, is that Chi or CHI? Well, it's for Creighton Health Institute, because Creighton is located here in Omaha, Nebraska. And we'll be back with the interview with Coach Keith Dambrot right after this break on the Duquesne Basketball Network.
For some kids, life circumstances have created challenges too big to overcome on their own. At Summit Academy, we provide the environment, the opportunities, and the support for them to start succeeding. If you have the desire to mentor a young man through counseling, coaching, or education, Summit Academy will provide on-the-job training for you to create a rewarding career. Counseling positions start at $46,000 with exceptional benefits. Join us and make a real difference. The Summit Academy. Learn more at theacademyschools.com.
Huddle up, football fans. You undoubtedly show your team spirit every play, touchdown, game, and season. But what about the off-season? Ask Sherwin-Williams how you can make every day feel like game day with over 1,500 colors and the top-tier coaching staff to bring the energy of your team spirit home. Shop online or visit your neighborhood store today.
Welcome to the Mike's Beer Bar lead-in show. Mike's Beer Bar. Meet me at Mike's, and the Coach Keith Dambrot interview is brought to you by Cordia. Cordia, creating energy solutions. The Dukes are in Omaha, Nebraska to meet BYU in the first round of the NCAA championship playoffs, and it must be difficult on short notice like that, a team you haven't played. I know you follow college basketball day in and day out. A lot of preparation.
Yeah, we kind of cram for tests. That's what we do this time of year is, we just try to get ready for each opponent that's coming, just like the A10 tournament. Now, we knew a little bit more about the teams we played in the A10 tournament, but it's the same concept because teams do different things as the season goes on.
BYU is interesting. They come in as a 6 seed. You're an 11 seed, which means they're obviously favored, but they're out of a conference, the Big 12, where 8 teams are going to the big dance.
Well, it's the best conference in the country according to all the statistics. So they've been tested. Obviously, this is their first year in the Big 12. They were in the West Coast Conference prior to this, and they've really improved from last year.
Tell us about them, their personnel, who you got to stop and what they do.
Well, the first thing out of everybody's mouth is their three-point shooting and their quantity of three-point shots. They shoot the most threes of anybody in the country. They shoot at 34%, which isn't, the highest that we've played against, but they shoot a lot of them. So, number one, you have to limit how many they shoot. You have to make them put the ball on the ground, although they're deceptive, penetrating-wise. And then people talk about that first, but really what jumps out at me is their defensive toughness and their toughness as a whole.
Well, of course, that's your hallmark, toughness to try and stop them. They average like 81 points a game, so you're going to have to slow them down.
Yeah, we're going to have to score as well, and our offense is going to have to help our defense. That's probably the key point to the game, is making sure that, we don't let them spurt, because they're a spurting team, and if you allow them to have too many spurts, you won't win the game.
As far as your health, Trey Williams, the only one out?
Trey Williams and Hassan Drame, obviously, who's been out for, the last month or so. But we're in pretty good health. I think we freshened up a little bit, although it's been a whirlwind, as you know, with this trip. We didn't get back till 4 o'clock on Sunday, and then, you leave on Tuesday. So you'd think it's a lot of rest, but it isn't really.
You're used to practicing early in the morning, so this is an early game, 11:40 out here in Omaha time, but you have to get up early to eat and everything. That might favor you a little bit.
Well, we're used to it. I don't know what their schedule's like, but we're used to getting up in the mornings every day. We practice anywhere from, 8:30 in the morning, 8:15 in the morning till 9:15. So, that's our starting day. So we're actually, this is a little late for us.
And of course, everyone knows that this previous Monday you announced that this is it, your swan song at Duquesne. And I have to go back and remember meeting you early on. You said, well, I'm here for a couple reasons. Your dad, of course, having played here, and the fact that you want to get us to the NCAA tournament. And you did it.
Well, we did it the hard way, Ray. We waited to the last minute. But, sometimes, plans kind of change as you go. We had some unforeseen circumstances, and, we got there. Hopefully we're going to leave it in a better spot than when we got here. And, Duquesne won't have to go through the misery that they've been through over the last 45 years or so.
Well, you've done a great job, and maybe just a word about your retirement to our fans.
I just appreciate the fans. I appreciate them hanging in there with us, and I'm proud of our team. I'm glad that you get to call an NCAA game. Just looking forward to the retirement, and hopefully my wife gets healthy.
As head coach Keith Dambrot of the Duquesne Dukes as they get ready to meet by BYU here in the NCAA tournament. The interview was brought to you by Cordia, Creating Energy Solutions. And that concludes the Mike's Beer Bar lead-in show. When we return, we'll check out the points in the paint and This Week in Duquesne Athletics during the UPMC pregame show on the Duquesne Basketball Network.
Do you want better results from your sales team? What if you could avoid radio silence from prospects or increase your closing percentage? Is your leadership team ready for the challenges ahead? Do you have the right people in place to help you achieve all that is possible? If now is the right time to grow your people and grow your sales, visit TalaricoGroup.com to learn more.
Life-changing is happening every day at UPMC.
I think nursing is one of the most important jobs in the world. You have to have the book smarts and the critical thinking skills. But there's this 50% that is just relating to people. I get to positively impact a person's life every single day of my life.
That's life-changing medicine at UPMC.
And welcome to the UPMC pregame show, the official healthcare provider of the Duquesne Dukes for today's game versus BYU. It's time for the Sherwin-Williams Points in the Paint outlook on today's game. Let's paint with a broad brush on what the Dukes need to take care of the Cougars. Sherwin-Williams is the official paint provider of Duquesne Athletics, helping paint the Duquesne story. Tim, what do you have?
3 points for you, Ray. BYU led the Big 12 in three-pointers made per game at 11.2 and attempted per game at 32.2. So point one is guard the arc. Those numbers also rank second in the country. They don't have one guy who's a killer from three, a three-point specialist, but they've got his 5, 6, 7 guys who on any day might make 2 or 3 of them. They try to take 30 threes in every game. They want to hit a dozen. That's 40%. If they take 30, their odds of winning usually go way up. So because they're so three-dependent, sometimes they've had some head-scratching losses. When they go cold, they're in trouble. Now, on the plus side for Duquesne, they rank 4th in the Atlantic 10 in guarding the three-point arc at 31.7%, and we're only 2nd in three-pointers allowed at 6.5 per contest. So Duquesne has done a nice job in this regard. Super 70, that's the second point. BYU has just one victory in which they have scored less than 70 points, a 63-58 win over Central Florida on January 13th. Duquesne has 12 wins when they have scored less than 70 points. Keith Dambrot wants to slow this game down. Unless they're scoring in transition, he wants things to be kept at a cap point-wise. They'll push it if they're looking at an opportunity for a fast break, but aside from that, Dambrot will make it mud wrestling, as he likes to say. And then third, instant replay. Dambrot says if there's a team that the Dukes have played in the A-10 that's similar to BYU, it's VCU. Very similar, three-point oriented, fluid, challenging because they can stretch you out, but they can score inside. That was Dambrot's assessment of BYU. And for all those challenges they present, Duquesne beat VCU twice this season, including last Sunday in the A-10 championship game. If Dambrot's analogy is right, Ray, maybe that's a good omen for the Dukes to pull off the upset.
Okay, very good analysis. Both teams are back on the floor and warming up prior to getting this game started. The officials working this contest, Pat Driscoll, Ken Burdett, and Sean Hall. And because it's the NCAA playoffs, they have an alternate, Kellen Miller, standing by in case anybody pulls a hamstring or something.
They had one ready at the A-10. A number of guys that I've seen call games for Duquesne over the past couple years, and thankfully we never got to that point, Ray. Let's hope that's the case again today.
Being the higher seed at number 6, the Cougars will be dressed in their home whites with the blue numerals, the Dukes in their traveling blue with the red numerals. This is the 31st time that BYU has been in the NCAA big dance for the championship. The Dukes 6 times, 1940, 1952, 69, 71, 77, and now 24, 47 years since the last time. And hopefully Norm Nixon, who led that team to get into the NCAAs in 77, is here. I talked to him earlier. He was just landing, and he's coming to the game, and he said, I'll look you up for halftime after I asked him if he'd be on. So we hope to have the star of the 77 team here at halftime. There's a nice contingent of Duquesne fans behind us, Tim.
They made the trip. I don't think anybody needed convincing for this one. Maybe a day or two before they got to Dayton with the off day baked in on Friday. You certainly saw the contingent go up by Saturday for the semifinals, but this is a literal once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many people who have been fans of Duquesne. So I think a lot of people said, you know what, whatever it takes, whatever it costs, whatever the flights, we're going to Omaha. And here they are.
It's time now for This Week in Duquesne Athletics. You have it?
I've got it ready to go, Ray. Brought to you by Cordia, creating energy solutions. Tomorrow, bowling heads to the NEC Championship, and women's tennis competes at Cleveland State. On Saturday, men's and women's tennis head to Bucknell, and women's lacrosse is home against George Mason at 12 p.m. Also, women's basketball will take on the winner of Buffalo and Monmouth in the WNIT tournament, with the date to be determined after the matchup. And that's This Week in Duquesne Athletics, brought to you by Cordia, creating energy solutions.
And we'll have the starting lineups and the opening tip right after this final break on our pregame show, brought to you by Cordia. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
You can't win your next big game until you know your game plan. The same can be said for your business. At AMCOM, we work with you, customizing your game plan to drive down cost while improving security and the quality of your network. As a Xerox Business Solutions company, we offer a wide range of products and services, from printers and copiers to managed IT services and robotic process automation. AMCOM and Xerox have been proud partners of Duquesne University for more than 10 years. To learn more about optimizing your business, visit teamamcom.com.
At Giant Eagle and Market District, they know that Duquesne fans expect the very best. Whether you're hungry for the highest quality meat and seafood or prepared foods made fresh in store, you'll always find something fantastic. Additionally, their Giant Eagle and Nature's Basket brand products provide high-quality options for all of your needs at a great value. Giant Eagle is proud to bring freshness, quality, and savings to Dukes fans throughout the season. Let's go, Dukes!
The Duquesne Dukes first half is brought to you by UPMC Health Plan, the official health plan of Duquesne Athletics.
Tim Ray Goss here at the Chi Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska. It seats 17,556. What a beautiful building. And bigger than this, I just can't imagine how much space there is behind here for all the teams, the media. I mean, you have to walk a long distance to get through it all to get to the floor, but a great setting for this first two rounds of the NCAA tournament while they're going on in Pittsburgh, too.
It's almost like a convention center setup, and from what I was told, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but they have lots of volleyball tournaments back there with the high ceilings, and, you know, at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center in Pittsburgh, they sometimes bring in national high school women's volleyball tournament, and it's the same sort of setup that they do here. And volleyball is a huge sport here in Nebraska.
Now let's take a look at the starting lineups for this first round game, and they're brought to you by the UPMC Health Plan, the official health plan of the Duquesne Dukes. For the BYU Cougars, coached by Mark Pope in his 5th year, he played at Kentucky, and at Utah Valley he was a head coach for 5 years. They came in at 23-10. They'll go with Noah Waterman, a senior, 6'11", 220 from Savannah, New York, averaging 9.7 a game, 5.5 boards. Spencer Johnson, a senior, 6'5", 195-pounder from American Fork, Utah, averaging 10.4 a game, 6.6 boards, and 3.3 assists. Tyler Nell, a junior, 6'5", 186-pounder from North Salt Lake, Utah, 10.8 average a game. Dallin Hall, their point guard, a sophomore, 6'4", 196 from Plant City, Utah, averaging 9 a game and 5.6 assists a game. And Ali Khalifa, a junior, 6'11", 230-pounder from Egypt, and played at Charlotte, 5.9 average, 3.8 boards. For the Duquesne Dukes, Keith Dambrot in his 7th and final year at Duquesne, as he announced his retirement. His associate head coach is Drew Joyce III. Assistants are Rick McFadden, Terry Wygant, Steve Wright, and Ari Stern. The Dukes will go with Jake DeMichael, the freshman, at 6'4", 185-pounders from Our Lady of Sacred Heart in McKees Rock, averaging 6.4 a game. Jimmy Clark, senior, 6'3", 185, Covington, Georgia, 15.1 a game, 3.4 boards, and leads the Atlantic 10 in steals. David Dixon will start, a sophomore, 6'9", 215-pounder from Memphis, 7.1 scoring, 4.8 boards. Day Grant, the leading scorer for the Dukes, senior, 6'2", 185 from Lorain, Ohio, played at Miami of Ohio, 16.7 scoring a game, 93.9 from the free throw line. And Fusini Drame, a grad student, 6'7", 220-pounder from Mali, and played at LaSalle last year, 6.7 scoring, 5.7 boards. Leading percentage three-pointer shooter for the Dukes at 43.6.
And they're putting Dixon in the starting lineup because of Khalifa. He was a little bit of a question mark as to whether or not he was going to start. And they want Dixon's ability to guard him on the perimeter. He's a really good playmaker, really good passer, will set things up on the outside. And they think Dixon can stick with him and his mobility a little bit more than Dusan Mahorcic.
They're obviously a very good rebounding team. Average over 8 rebounds more than the opposition per game. They have 2 6'11" starters. And here we go from the NCAAs in Omaha, Nebraska. The tip controlled by the Dukes. And forecourt for Duquesne. It is Jimmy Clark against the man-to-man. Outside, handles the ball to the left sideline against Hall. Right sideline, driving the baseline. In the pass comes outside, left corner, three-pointer, Grant. Good! Day-Day hits the first. And the Dukes lead 3-0. Forecourt, Dahl for the Dahl and Hall, I should say. High post, it comes to Khalifa. Khalifa at 6'11", 230. I swear he weighs more than that. Offensive foul called against the Cougars.
Did you see the reaction from Trevin Nell? Trevin Nell was being guarded. Day-Day Grant was in his jersey, and Nell actually pulled his jersey and looked at the official and said, "He was in my jersey." And he was just smiling at the official. I can't believe you gave him that call, but he did.
Forecourt. Clark for the Dukes leading 3-0 early. Dribbling the perimeter. Left sideline to Fusini. Outside the right to Michael. Fusini, baseline right. 12 feet out. Drives. He's in tight. Reverse layup. Score! 5-0 Duquesne with a good start. 18:58 to go in the first half. Forecourt comes Hall for the Cougars. Outside to Khalifa. He gives it off to Nell. Nell fakes that three. Being double teamed. Throws straight away. Right sideline it comes. Release pass. The layup is up and missed. Wasn't under control. Waterman when he shot it. Dukes get the rebound, leading 5-0 early. Left corner to Michael. Left sideline. It is handling it at the point. Clark. Clark drives to left, gets into the paint. 8-foot runners around the rim, falls off, and the rebound taken off by the Cougars. Nell comes forecourt. Waterman, top side it goes to Hall. He drives to the left. In three-point land, Khalifa fakes the three, goes down the lane, throws it underneath. Waterman's shot is blocked and taken off. The Dukes block it and come forecourt. Long three is on the way and missed by Grant, taken off easily by Spencer Johnson.
Don't want that.
BYU ball. Johnson out front. They have yet to try three. Now there goes one, and they miss it, and the rebound taken off as Khalifa missed it. And Fusini Drame, the Dukes' leading rebounder, gets the rebound, and Hurt is trying to get a timeout. The shot is missed by the Dukes, and stumbling over the sideline, Dolan Hall. He got whacked in the chops.
He got hit by Drame as Drame was going up for that rebound, went through Hall's hand and wrist and got him right in the face. And Hall was looking for a foul, didn't get it, got up, realized he was bleeding right away, and he's going to need some stitch work. That didn't look good.
17:36 remaining first half. 5-0, the Dukes lead it. He's their point guard. He's only a sophomore. He's come on big time for them. Pretty good crowd on hand here, but not capacity. We look at the upper reaches. There are people up there too. Seats over 17,000.
Hall averages 5 assists per game to underscore your point. Best amongst the Cougars. And you brought up their lack of three-point shooting until Khalifa brought one from the outside on the wing. And I was watching him, and he's known to have good footwork and good technique once he's set, but he doesn't get up and down the court all that well.
No, he doesn't. He shoots from 33% from threes.
Really nifty passer, has eyes in the back of his head, but was laboring up and down the court. And if they can get Dixon in transition, that's going to be tough. And there you see the replay of Hall getting popped. I can't tell if he's bleeding from his nose or from his lip.
I think it's a nose, but we'll wait.
And they're saying it's a play-on situation. There was no foul. I mean, yeah, that just happened in the rebounding action. Drame came up for the ball and went with his hand straight up in the air and went through the wrist and arms of Hall and got him in the face. That's where the contact came, and they were trying to locate the blood actually on the floor where he started to bleed, and they just now found it. So they're disinfecting the court right by the free throw line.
Basketball for BYU after that delay. And Hall's heading to the locker room right now. Let's see who came in there. It is Jackson
scorer.
Robinson.
Yeah, they bring him off the bench as the leading scorer.
Yeah, he is. Almost a steal by Duquesne. Jackson Robinson, 28-foot three. He airballed it. And the Duquesne fans love that right behind us. 5-0 Duquesne with the early lead, 17-17 to go first half.
Had the ball, lost the ball, picked it up, and launched it from the NCAA logo. Checking himself in quickly.
Clark forecourt for the Dukes. Gets a screen, takes a handoff from Dixon, goes behind him to the left, between circles. Dixon again to the right, drives to the baseline. Throws it. DeMichael, 8-footer is good. Nice feed from Clark, and DeMichael cans it, 7-0 Duquesne. Outside, Khalifa sets a screen, now takes a pass, looks to throw to someone. Waterman cuts through. Outside now is Spencer Johnson along the sideline. Dukes are really guarding that arc. Now the big guy goes in, throws it back outside. Wide open three is on the way and missed again, this time by Robinson. And down on the floor. And what's the call? Dukes wanted traveling. Did they get it?
I
As
think they
Khalifa went to
called
the deck.
DeMichael on the rebounding action. I was hoping to see if Khalifa's okay, man. He went down hard and his left leg slipped, the one with the brace. You heard the thud from here, but appears to be okay.
Fouls against Duquesne.
Yeah.
And I think that Michael got it.
Yeah. Oh, no, they gave it to Drame, actually.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it was 34 instead
No,
of 44.
I was with you. I actually thought they gave it to DeMichael initially as well.
7-0 Duquesne. 16:31 to go in the first half.
Pat Driscoll talking to Nell and Grant. They had an exchange earlier, as we pointed out, and they're still kind of going at it.
Inbound, it comes to the right sideline to Khalifa. And driving the baseline, Robinson. Back out to Khalifa. Now top of the circle. And the ball's lost. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Dukes, according to the official. Richie Saunders is in there. A sophomore, 6'5", 200-pounder from Riverton, Utah, for the Cougars. Out to play it in. Jackson Robinson comes off the bench with their leading scorer, 13.8 a game. Robinson throws it in down deep, bobbling it, but now Johnson with it, backing his way in, trying to get it up. Ball knocked out of bounds. Turnover. Last touch by Saunders. Dukes looking good so far, leading 7-zip. 16-11 to go in the first half.
They were going to kill the shot clock on that anyway, whether it went out of bounds or not. Real good help defense. Trapped Johnson, Drame, and DeMichael teaming up there right along the baseline. Excellent work.
Forecourt will come. Clark for Duquesne along with Grant as his running mate at guards. 2 second-team all-conference in the A-10. Wide open threes on the way. No good by Clark and taken off defensively by Spencer Johnson for the Cougars. They have a fast break going. Turn around. Easy 6-footers. Missed. Inside by Saunders. Taken off by the Dukes. Bank shot. It looked like he had the angle, but it went out. Driving across all the way in. Oh! Thrown away by DeMichael. He had a layup on his fingertips, and he tried to feed off, and he threw it away.
He made a harder pass to try to get a harder shot. He had a left-handed layup.
Timeout on the floor with 15:41 to go in the first half. Score Duquesne 7 and BYU nothing. Back after this, courtesy of Cordia. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
Millie's Homemade is turning farm to cone ice cream right here in the Berg. Their rich and creamy ice cream features grass-grazed milk from Twin Brook Dairy and real ingredients from local makers and bakers. Millie's is a proud sponsor of the Duquesne Athletics. Visit their kiosk in the Student Union near Starbucks or visit their scoop shops year-round in Market Square, Shadyside, Lawrenceville, South Fayette, and Wexford. Coming soon to Oakland and Murraysville. Find Millie's on the web at millieshomemade.com to learn more about catering and nationwide shipping.
Life-changing is happening every day at UPMC.
Nursing school doesn't really teach you to become an ICU nurse. Like, you have to have a special talent to understand patients who are not able to express themselves. Just little clues that the body gives you and the patient gives you that just help. who they are and what they want is extremely important to me.
That's life-changing medicine at UPMC.
And this segment of the first half of NCAA tournament basketball for the Duquesne Dukes and BYU Cougars is brought to you by Pennsylvania Lottery. Proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. So far, just one other game going on in the NCAA tournament along with the Cougars and the Dukes. It's Michigan State and Mississippi State. The Spartans out in front as a 9 seed in front of the 8-seeded Bulldogs, 27-18. Right now it is 7-0 Duquesne leading BYU here in Omaha. And speaking of Omaha, Creighton, the host school here, is playing in Pittsburgh, ironically enough. They'll be taking on Akron in the first game of the day in Pittsburgh, and Long Beach State in Arizona will be the fourth game of the early session. That one is on TBS, and that one is out in the West region with Arizona as a 2 seed, and Long Beach State is a 15. Once again, 7-0 so far, Dukes over the BYU Cougars. Ray, this game very similar to the way all 4 games started in Brooklyn, in the sense that the Dukes have gotten off to a good start, maybe not as exploitive as the super slow start as they would like to be for their opponent. They could be up by even more if they converted a few more in the offensive end.
And Dallin Hall is back in with his nose all plugged up, so it was the nose.
Yeah, both nostrils stuffed with cotton right now.
And he has the ball right now. He's their point guard. He's guarded by Duquesne's point guard and leading stealer and defensive player in the A-10 on the all-defensive team. And it's Jimmy Clark outside, cutting to the right. Johnson looking for the shot. Gets all the way and turn, spin. Easy 5-footer. He missed it. And the rebound out of bounds and a foul against the Cougars.
It's our first Foos on Foos crime. Fuseni Traore for BYU just fouled Fusini Drame for the Duquesne Dukes.
They spell it the same but pronounce it a little differently. Fuseni and Fusini.
First time they were in there together, and immediately one fouls the other. That's beautiful.
7-0 Duquesne. Clark forecourt for the Dukes. To Michael. Outside to Grant. Grant looking to go down. It's Clark with it. Clark top of the circle. Has a 15-footer. Good. 9-0 Duquesne. Forecourt BYU. Hall fakes. He's in the lane. Left corner. Faking. Robinson drives to the basket. Gets in the paint. Leans in for the shot. Blocked beautifully, but a foul on the play. Fusini got the block. But the foul is on, I think, Fusini.
It is, and Robinson will go to the free throw line. And I'm joking about the Fuseni versus Fusini thing, Ray, but I was actually on a station in Salt Lake in advance of the game. Pat Kerwin, a columnist for the Salt Lake Tribune, said he went back through every box score to 1962 if there was ever a Fusini versus Fusini game in the history of the NCAA tournament. Shockingly enough, he didn't find one.
First point on the board as Robinson, a 90% free throw shooter, hits it.
Yeah, he's excellent. 90.2 on the season. They don't shoot a lot of them. In fact, opponents shot about 100 more than the Cougars.
Second one also good. 9-2 Duquesne. Over 5 minutes before the Cougars scored. Forecourt, Clark for Duquesne. Up by 7. High outside post, it goes to Dixon. Dixon hands off to a driver. The layup is up and missed inside. The fall is up and good for Duquesne. The basket counts. And he'll go for the three-point play. Hacked in the axe. With 14:38 to go in the game. First half. The Dukes now up with a nice comfortable lead of 11-2.
Haven't seen Mahorcic yet. It's been David Dixon the whole way, and it's been a really wise decision thus far for Keith Dambrot.
DeMichael missed the drive, and Dixon got it and put in a three-pointer. Duquesne by 10 early on.
Netchison now too, Ray.
Yeah. Jakub Netchis, the freshman, 6'8" in for Duquesne. Outside it is Hall. Gets a screen, drives, and a whistle and a foul on Duquesne.
It doesn't look like BYU is hunting too hard to find their trademark threes. They're being willing to put the ball on the deck and go to the hole, and that might be strategic in the sense, try to get a lot of these versatile front court players for Duquesne in foul trouble as early as they can.
Pass coming inbounds. taken off by Saunders out there. Driving to the right. Pass comes topside. Another new man in the game. I'll get it for you. Saunders with it. Throws it to the postman who lays it up and missed. And the rebound taken off by the Dukes. Into the lineup is Fosini Traore. Yeah, he was in. That's the first time he handled the ball on the post. Forecourt Clark. Dukes with a 12-2 lead. Double digits. Dixon outside on the outside post. The give off is to DeMichael, right sideline. With it, faking, driving. Clark, 18-footer. No. Weak side rebound taken off by Saunders for the Cougars. He comes forecourt to the right sideline drive. Corner three is on the way. And the first three is buried by Jackson Robinson. He has all 5 of their points. 12-5 Duquesne. 13:28 to go in the first half. Clark forecourt to the left, throws it outside to Dixon. Beyond the arc, hands out to Michael, cutting to his left between circles. Dukes work their offense. And again, now it is Grant faking, drives, top of the circle, has some room momentarily, bounces low to Dixon. He's in for the layup and stuffs it. Good head fake. 14-5 Duquesne. Looking good here in the first half. In their first NCAA tournament game in 47 years. Traore outside, gives to Saunders. Saunders cuts, drives down, and a foul on a play against Duquesne. It is instead Johnson, Spencer Johnson. 26-year-old has completed 2 years of medical school.
He's a father, a husband, went on a Mormon mission right out of school, has been at 3 different institutions, all in Utah, started in Weber. When Johnson was up at the podium answering questions from the media, I thought it was the coach. I thought it was Mark Pope. I'm like, wow, Mark Pope has really aged well. He's so mature. He's so poised, and you can tell.
Driving the pass, cuts inside Traore, missed it. Banked it too hard. Dukes get the rebound. The pass comes as into the left corner, trying to drive the baseline, but a whistle.
I think he stepped out of bounds in the corner.
Yeah. As the pass came from Kareem Rozier, who just came in the ball game for the Dukes, the sophomore at 5'9", and he couldn't handle it before his foot hit the sideline.
I think
12:34 to go in the first half. The Dukes lead at 14-5.
Kareem a little wide-eyed on that long pass.
Coming forecourt, Hall with his nose stuffed with cotton after he got a whack. Guarded by Rozier. Hall out front, drives hard to the right, gives off on the wing to Johnson. Johnson double up on, looks for the shot. A lot of contact and no call there either way. And now the three is on the way and rattles in and out. Rebound battle for it, and Johnson gets it. He drives the baseline and throws it to Saunders. Saunders cuts through. 8-foot runner's good. And it's 14-7.
Nice shoot by Saunders. Good contest from Jakob Netjes, and he floated it right over him. Really well done.
It's been a physical game so far, Tim. The Dukes are really playing tough, gritty defense. Forecourt comes Rozier outside. It comes from Mahorchik, who's in there. The 6'11" grad student throws to the right sideline to Jakob Netjes. Outside now, 8 to shoot. Pass is loose, but grabbed off by Netjes. Right sideline, Grant, 28-footer, good! 17-7 as Day hits the 3-ball. Underneath the Traore deep. He gets in the corner. The 3-ball is way off the mark. The rebound taken off, though, by the Cougars. And another long three. This one is hit by Jackson Robinson.
Real scattered defensive possession because Saunders had fallen down on the Grant 3, and then Netjes tripped over him, and everybody was playing catch-up from there. They never got set on defense in that sequence.
Duke's ball leading by 17-10. Rozier at the point. Cuts it to Grant. Grant looking for a screen. Comes to the right, goes to the left, gets in the paint, leans, throws it to the big guy. Dusan Mahorchik. Jump hook, missed it. The rebound fought for out of bounds. Let's see who gets it. Jakob Netjes had his hands on it. I don't know whose ball it is, but right now I know there's a timeout. 10:33 to go in the first half. Score Duquesne 17, BYU 10. Back after this, courtesy of Cordia. Cordia, creating evergreen solutions.
Leon's Billiards and More in Wexford is the Tri-State's premier billiards and game room showcase. Hi, I'm Mike Leon, and for over 40 years we've delivered on our guarantee to provide the best quality, selection, price, and service when it comes to customers' game room needs. From our luxurious pool tables and accessories to our shuffleboards, bar stools, game room furniture, and more, Leon's has everything you need. Come see us nearby on Route 19 in Wexford or visit us online at leonsbilliards.com.
At Cordia, we approach energy from a different point of view, asking what's next instead of what now, perfecting solutions long before they are needed. Our team pushes boundaries, asks tough questions, and explores every possibility. We drive innovation so the energy you rely on today paves the way to a more sustainable tomorrow. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
Duquesne basketball NCAA first round broadcast is brought to you by UPMC, the official postseason partner of the Duquesne Dukes. Also brought to you by Eaton Park. Make any place the place for smiles with Eaton Park Takeout. Order online at eatonpark.com. And Cordia, a proud partner of Duquesne Athletics. Cordia, creating energy solutions. Ray, you were really impressed so far with Jackson Robinson. We were talking about that during the break. He's got a 7'1" wingspan. Big 12, sixth man of the year, packs 13.8 points into 26 minutes off the bench. Told you already that he's a good free throw shooter at 90%, also shoots 35% from the floor and from three, and then 42% from the floor.
Yeah, he's a good one. They have a couple of big guys, but they're not of the caliber of Holmes from Dayton.
Oh, who is? I wouldn't be surprised if they get a round or two deep, Dayton in that region. Of course, now a two-bid league, the Atlantic 10 is, because Duquesne won the tournament. Dayton was going to go regardless. And you talked about the switch to the Big 12 for BYU. I've talked to some old colleagues that I worked with in Salt Lake, and they talked at length about how this has been a home run for basketball. Maybe a struggle for football so far, but a home run for basketball.
Yeah. 8 teams out of the Big 12 in the NCAAs. The officials working this ball game: Pat Driscoll, Ken Burdett, and Sean Hall. Really nice crowd on hand here, but not capacity.
Yeah, I might fill in a little bit later, especially when the Illinois fans get here. Their section is about a half full, and I'm looking behind us now. And I think the Morehead State fans, such as they are, they showed up fairly early, so we've seen a little bit of a smattering at our hotel of different fans here and there. Everybody really intrigued with Duquesne's presence.
Into the lineup for Duquesne, Matusz Hronsky, sophomore, 6'8", 200-pounder from Slovakia. Seeing his first action. Netjes is in there. And it's Duquesne's ball. Rozier to trigger in. Finds Netjes, who throws up a three ball, hit the side of the banking board. The clock was down, he had to fire it. And the ball will go to the Cougars.
Yeah, well, two of the things they were looking at, Ray, not only possession during the timeout, but also the shot clock had erroneously expired at the end. I thought they were going to put more time on it. They didn't.
Traore, their big guy, is back in there. He's 240 pounds.
No, he's not. He's 270.
Yeah,
he's 260 at least.
Yeah, I agree with you. He probably had one leg off the weight. Yeah. Driving to the right, Robinson gets into the baseline, and a whistle.
Great hands by Clark to knock it free.
Turnover. Duquesne ball. 10-16 till intermission. 17-10 Duquesne. Blazed out to a 9-0 lead, led by 10 at one point. Forecourt, Rozier comes off a screen to the right, set by Mohorčić. And now to Netjes. Hronsky on the blocks to Mohorčić, about 10 feet out, trying to maneuver, playing bully ball. And he bangs his way in, lays it up, missed it. A little too heavy on the glass. Forecourt, they come in a hurry. Underneath, all alone, Robinson trying to get it, throws it back out the hall, who drives, and now Johnson, a three ball, hit it. Spencer Johnson, he only shoots him at 29%, but he makes it 17-13. BYU coming back, down by only 4. Rozier running the attack for Duquesne. Out to Netches. Top side right, it goes to Jimmy Clark. Straight away to Horonsky. Screen to the left from Horonsky. A 10-foot runner is off the rim, no good. Had a good bank angle, but it didn't drop. Forecourt comes Hall. Over to Johnson. He drives hard. Gets in underneath. Guarded by Netches. Lays it up. Blocked by Netches, but he gets it back. Intercepted by Horonsky, who comes forecourt. He'll go all the way for the layup and score. 19-13 as the Duke converted the turnover. 8:52 to go first half. Johnson cross court out to Hall. Hall looks for a bad pass, intercepted, but a foul called against Duquesne. Ooh, that hurt. Look like a
called
pretty.
Horchich, that was nothing.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were calling Hronsky for running through the screen to pick up the foul, but they gave it to Mahorchich. Boy, they needed that basket from Hronsky, like you said, converting the turnover. Too many empty possessions in a row before that. For as well as they're playing defensively, they need a little bit more offense to pay off all these good defensive sequences.
Tyler Nell, who started, is back in for BYU. Waterman also. Nell has it, fakes the three, drives. Easy 8-foot runner is good. 19-15. Duquesne by 4. BYU coming back. Forecourt comes Clark for the Dukes. Against the man-to-man. Both teams all the way outside post. It goes to Dixon. Hands off behind him to Horonsky. Left sideline. Clark driving. He's in for the layup. It's too hard, and the rebound taken off. Duke's missing shots. Hall comes forecourt. Robinson drives, gets in, reverse layup. Almost made it.
Wow,
fouled.
I can't believe that almost went down. That was phenomenal, even get it that close.
This kid can play. Comes off the bench and averages 13.8, their leading scorer, and he's at the line for a couple.
Right before the second media timeout, Ray, I looked up, Duquesne was at 50%. Now they're down to 33% from the floor. They've really struggled offensively of late. That last layup attempt from Jimmy Clark, out of control. He was 2 of 17 in the last game against VCU after being 19 of 39, which is 48% from the floor in the first 3 in Brooklyn.
First one's good. Horonsky has his second foul, and he goes out and is replaced by DeMichael. 19-16. Second one coming for Robinson. And he hit it. He's a 90%er. Duke's lead is down to 2 with 8:06 to go till intermission. We hope to have Norm Nixon on at halftime. He's here. I talked to him earlier. Outside it is DeMichael bobbles, throws it on the baseline. Underneath it goes. Dixon loses it, and it's taken off by the Cougars. A chance to tie or get the lead with the 3-ball. Waterman, forecourt. Back into Khalifa. Now right sideline to Hall. Running the attack. Guarded at the perimeter by Netches. Out to Waterman. Left sideline the pass comes to Nell. Nell left corner. Robinson for 3. Good. And the lead goes to the Cougars for the first time. 20-19 with 7:19 to go in the first half. Robinson has been dynamite for them. Outside with it. DeMichael, right corner, it goes to Day Grant. Now to Dixon. Dixon looks around. Hands off to Clark coming behind him. Clark drives, gets into the baseline. Throws a bad pass, but it comes over, and the 18-footer is good by DeMichael. That was lucky there.
Improvisational shot for DeMichael. Don't think he really had it cleanly, but fired it off. And
to 20.
what a great play by Netches down here defensively. That block was something else. They got stuck with Grant guarding Khalifa. They didn't want that.
And a timeout on the floor with 6:06 to go in the first half. The score, Duquesne 24, BYU 20. Back after this, courtesy of Cordia. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
Dean Honda is Pittsburgh's Honda headquarters. Whether you're looking to buy a car, service your car, or sell your car, Dean Honda can help you. Dean Honda buys, sells, and services all makes and models. Visit them at deanhonda.com or on Route 51 in Pleasant Hills. Dean Honda is a proud sponsor of Duquesne Athletics. Ask them about the Duquesne discounts.
Want to know the best place to tailgate in Pittsburgh? Here's a few tips. 1. Book an overnight at the DoubleTree downtown. 2. Park your car in the valet garage. 3. Enjoy brunch in the Bigelow Grill. Have a yummy cocktail or craft beer and a juicy smash burger. 4. Savor a warm DoubleTree chocolate chip cookie. 5. Celebrate in your beautiful one-bedroom suite. Reserve, eat, drink, celebrate, sleep, repeat for the next game. DoubleTree and Duquesne, a winning combination.
And welcome back to Omaha with the Duquesne Dukes and BYU Cougars. 6:06 left to go in the first half of this NCAA tournament first round game. Duquesne leading 24-20. UPMC is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Duquesne Dukes. With a win today, the Dukes will advance to the second round of the NCAA tournament, taking on the winner of Morehead State in Illinois. The Roadhead segment is brought to you by Dean Honda. Dean Honda is one of the largest volume dealerships in the Pittsburgh area. Visit them on Route 51 in Pleasant Hills or at deanhonda.com. Ask about the Duquesne discount. Dean Honda, a proud partner of Duquesne Athletics. Ray, what do you remember about the 1977 game or the 1969 game, the last win for the Dukes in the tournament?
A lot, especially the lead up to the 77. When we went to the Spectrum in Philadelphia and played 3 games and beat Villanova with Rolly Massimino, the coach, in the final game. And Norm Nixon had 27. And Don Mazur hit some big free throws to propel them to the 3-point victory. And then we came a cropper. I thought we played at Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh, and they lost to VMI in the first round.
Yeah. And then in 1969, the consolation game is the one that they won against St. John's. They won the first game against St. Joe's and lost to UNC in between.
A very close game.
Yeah, controversial game.
Yes.
And just going back to what had previously happened before our timeout, that block by Netjes was really something because he came from nowhere, as you described, and erased how the Dukes got caught in a switch with the much smaller Day Grant trying to guard the very big Ali Khalifa. And he got a clean shot off, and Netjes, before the ball hit the arc going over the rim, swatted it with his offhand. He had a couple of big blocks in the tournament, none bigger than the one on Holmes late in the Dayton game.
Right. Dukes lead this one 24-20, led by 10 early on, 12-2, before the Cougars got their wake-up call for this early starter, late morning out here in Omaha. Outside with a Robinson, comes off a screen. Outside to Khalifa, works to the right against Mahorcic, and hands off to his teammate Nell. Nell back out to Khalifa, driving. Now a wide open 3 is no good. The rebound tipped around, over the back, foul on Waterman for the Cougars.
Wanted to underscore the point about Netjes coming out of the break, but we also have to go back to DeMichael's 3 from the wing. They've been struggling to hit shots so badly, and he didn't have his feet set. It was a loose ball. It was sort of a scrambly play, but he had space, and he didn't think twice. He let it fly, and that's good to see because he outthought himself in that one drive earlier in the game in the layup. He didn't think twice about that one, and they needed it.
And what they call another timeout here?
Yeah, I think that was a called timeout previously, so they're using this as the media timeout.
It occurs with 5:41 to go in the first half, and the Dukes leading by 24-20. Back after this, courtesy of Cordia. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
In the competitive world of construction, Reed Building Supply approaches every job with meticulous preparation and execution. Duquesne University football alumni and president of Reed Building Supply, Aaron Reed, understands that customer service is paramount to making jobs easier. Ready to discuss your building supply needs? Contact Aaron today at reedbuildingsupply.com or 412-875-6320. Reed Building Supply, where excellence and teamwork build success.
I know that my voice is valued at Schneider Downs.
Tax analyst Brianna Lundy.
I don't see myself anywhere else. I find that Schneider Downs is a perfect fit for me and the career that I want. I am within a small group, but we have huge overlapping goals with where the company sees itself moving forward, and I think that is a great opportunity to write my own career story.
Learn how you can grow your career at schneiderdowns.com.
Brought to you by Hello Bistro. It's Duquesne basketball in the NCAA tournament. Tim Benz, Ray Goss with you here in Omaha, Nebraska. 24-20, Dukes out in front in the first half. Hello Bistro. You can build salads like you wouldn't believe. They're huge, they're fresh, they're delicious. Over 50 toppings to pick from. The only limit is your imagination. Order online at hellobistro.com. Also brought to you by Corona Extra, a proud sponsor of Duquesne Athletics. Corona Extra, find your beach. And Sherwin-Williams knows that to sports fans, color is everything. Whether you bleed blue, gold, or crimson, Sherwin-Williams has every color to show your team spirit. Visit your neighborhood store to learn how to make the most of your color with the very best paint. Big fan of the BYU Cougar, are you, Ray?
Yeah.
There's a great tradition of mascots in Utah. I mean, the Utah Jazz Grizzly or Bear, now I don't remember what he was, but he was renowned for doing crazy tricks back when I was working out there, and Cosmo has become an internet sensation on many occasions in Provo for some of the tricks he's pulled off.
Well, BYU has hung in there. That's scary because they've not hit the three that well. In fact, they're 6 for 20 on the shooting. They have hit 4 out of 10 threes, so I guess that is pretty good. This Robinson has hit 3 out of 5, and he has 13 points to lead all scorers for Duquesne. Grant has 8.
Yeah, Robinson's basically at his season total already.
Dukes are on the floor with Netchus, Mahorchis, Clark, Grant, and I can't see
DeMichael.
our first starter, and DeMichael. They put Fuseni Traore back in, a junior at 6'6". They list him at 240. Forecourt comes Clark for Duquesne. Gets a screen from Mahorchich, hands out to DeMichael. Ball split controls. Right corner, Grant looking, faking. Gets a handoff behind the screen. Now has a 23-foot three off the rim, no good. The rebound out of bounds. And DeMichael wanted the foul, and he got it.
Nell pushed him in the back. DeMichael a good rebounding position. Didn't like that shot from Grant. His feet weren't set. He was fading away to the left. The ball drifted to the left.
Dukes will have 20 to shoot, 5:22 to go in the half, leading 24-20 over BYU. On the baseline, it comes outside now to Clark. Clark, top of the circle to the left, gives it to Grant. Grant comes hard to the right, gets into the paint, all the way to the basket, lays it up and in. 26-20 Duquesne.
Smooth on the lefty configuration there, switching right to left by Grant.
10 points for Grant to get double digits. Outside, Hall gives it off to Traore. He gives to Johnson. Johnson fakes the three. Now Hall drives, and boy, he's fouled by Clark.
Yeah. Twice in a row, BYU shooters got Duquesne players up in the air on up fakes, and Clark just landed on Johnson.
His first. Dukes are over the limit, though, and at the line will go Hall, a 62% free throw shooter. The sophomore at 6'4", point guard for the Cougars. Shot on the way, no go, and the rebound Netchus for Duquesne. Dukes lead it by a half dozen, 26-20, and they have the ball. 4:44 to go in the half. Clark forecourt, outside to Mahorchich. Hands to DeMichael for a 28-foot three, no, and the easy rebound taken off by the Cougars, Spencer Johnson. Forecourt to the right sideline to Hall. Hall gets cut, throws it into the big guy's layup, is blocked by a foul called on Netjes. Boy, it looked
Dan
like
Brown is stunned. Stunned. Sean Hall was the guy who called it.
We'll try to see if we can see a replay here.
They're not real fond of doing that at the NCAA venues, showing the controversial replays.
Traore has a line to shoot a couple. First one's on the way. No good. He's a 71% free throw shooter.
He's struggled to find his game so far. Still no points in 9 minutes.
Waterman out, Saunders back in for BYU. Second one for Traore. He hit that one. It's 26-21 Duquesne. 4:24 till intermission. Forecourt, Clark outside, he gives it to DeMichael. To Mahorcic, one dribble. To Clark, over to Grant. Grant looking to go off a screen to the right. Now use that screen to the left. Goes to the right. Jumper, 22 feet. Good! Is it a three? I think his feet were on the line. 28-21. Not quite a three, just a two. Outside with it. And a lot of contact. No call against Clark. He's got to watch it. To the right driving. Pass comes outside. Intercepted by Clark. Clark trying to trigger a break. Stops at the top of the arc. Over to Netjes. A wide open three. Bang! Netjes hits the three ball. It's 31-21. Duquesne by 10. Equaling their biggest lead. Forecourt across the timeline. Hall looks for a pass. Throws it outside to Traore. Traore starts his dribble. Hands to Robinson. Wide open three. He missed it. Rebound, though, taken off by the Cougars. Driving the baseline, Johnson. Intercepted nicely by Clark. Who else? Clark drives top of the circle to the right. Three ball on the way. Off the mark by Grant. It was deep, about 28 feet out. And a foul against...
I think it's Saunders.
Saunders.
Yeah, got Netjes on the rebounding action underneath. Good stretch for the Dukes.
Timeout on the floor. 3:11 till intermission. Score Duquesne 31. BYU 21. Back after this. Courtesy of Cordia. Cordia creating energy solutions.
Someday is here. There's no better time to make the life you've always wanted. When you're ready to start, we're ready to help. At JKS Financial, we help you set goals and priorities and provide you with a plan for reaching them. We take the stress out of your finances so you can spend time enjoying the moments that matter. Your someday starts today at JKS Financial. Call us at 412-561-5153 to get the conversation started.
Life-changing is what drives us, all of us. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine can't wait, and that our breakthroughs are only as good as the people they help. Serving more than just patients and members, but whole communities to change the future of health for everyone. Because only then can we call it life-changing medicine. UPMC.
When there's a game on, Bud Light is there. Proud friend of Duquesne Athletics, Bud Light reminds you to always drink responsibly. Dukes fans, come visit Duquesne alum Mike Leon at Leon's Billiards and more today. Leon's has the highest quality billiards products, shuffleboards, foosball tables, video games, and so much more. Visit Mike Leon in Wexford or at leonsbilliards.com. And also brought to you by Millie's. There's nothing I'd love more than delicious ice cream right now. Duquesne Athletics is a proud supporter of local partners, and that includes Pittsburgh's very own Millie's homemade ice cream. This is true locally sourced farm-to-cone stuff made right here in the Berg. Chef Chad and his culinary team at Millie's really knock these flavors out of the park. Millie's is open year-round with locations in South Fayette, Market Square, Lawrenceville, Shadyside, Wexford, Oakland, Murraysville, and Cranberry. Mention this ad for 2 free toppings. And I'm telling you, you got to try this ice cream, Millie's ice cream. 31-21, Duquesne leading the BYU Cougars here in the first half with 3:11 left to go. And during that last sequence, Duquesne able to counterpunch after BYU had narrowed the lead, took the lead by 1 point quickly. Duquesne got it right back again. And then a three-pointer from Day Grant after 2 steals from Jimmy Clark got to read the scouting report, Ray, and I think BYU knows, the coaches sure know the reputation of Jimmy Clark, not just on the ball when it comes to stealing the ball, but he's fantastic in passing lanes. Kareem Rozier has said it a million times, I don't know why anybody goes across the court while Jimmy Clark is out there. He's going to intercept it.
Yeah. Grant with 12 now to lead the Dukes. The Dukes are shooting 48% compared to 29%. Both teams have hit 4 out of 11 threes. Dukes on the floor with Clark to trigger on the end line. Netjes has seen a lot of action. Well deserved. Mahorcic is in there. Grant and to Michael. Pass comes in to Clark. 16 to shoot. Looking for another basket. They got a bigger lead. 10-point lead by the Dukes. 7 to shoot now. Here comes Clark to the right. Drives. He's all the way in. Reverse layup is no good, but taken down and laid up and in at the buzzer on the shot clock by Mahorcic, because Clark's did not hit the rim, but he beat it by about a half a second. Dukes by a dozen, 33-21. Forecourt, it is Hall. Outside gives it to Khalifa. Khalifa looking for cutters. Now throws it to Waterman. At 6'11", he fires a three and banks it in. And a foul called against Duquesne as they knock down Johnson.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul on Clark, who pushed Johnson as the ball was banking off the glass and into the basket. And that's the second on Clark.
33-23. Duquesne with the lead. I think they only get one shot on this.
Well, I don't know what they're looking at exactly now.
Well, maybe something more. Flagrant, perhaps? I didn't see the replay. It says play under review, though. This occurs with 2:25 to go till intermission.
Well, regardless, Kareem Rozier is going to come in. They've got to protect Clark here with the 2 fouls. And 2:25 left to go before the half.
Well, they hit a three, but I'm sure it was a little lucky when you bank it in straight on.
Oh, Waterman, I mean, you saw the reaction. Oh. Johnson ran into Clark from behind, and then Clark turned back into him, and he flopped. That's a flop.
Yeah, but they're not going to change that, are they? They can't change a foul call.
They're going to say it's a 2-point basket.
Oh, just 2 points?
I believe that's what they said.
Well, that's right. It was. Duke's led by 12. Now it's 10. But they're at the line.
Yeah, they're giving
Johnson will shoot. He's an 81% free throw.
Giving Johnson a one-on-one after that. And that was weak. They missed that.
They could make a 4-point play out of this. Shot is on the way and good. He'll get the bonus.
Now, I think maybe Grant might have bought a call in the second possession when Nell was getting upset with him. Maybe this is a make-up for that. But this one results in points. That's the difference.
Spencer Johnson takes a lot of time at the line. He's allowed 10 seconds. He made them both. The lead is down to 8. 33-25, Duquesne with the advantage. Rozier running the point, comes forecourt.
Costly possession there.
Yeah. Outside to Mahorcic. The ball's loose and a steal. Hall trying to go coast to coast. Gets in, lays it up and in. Converting the Duquesne turnover. 6 unanswered. And it's 33-27 as the BYU Cougars come back. Outside it goes, top side right to DeMichael. Straight away to Rozier. Off a screen to the left. 24-foot three is no, and the rebound taken off by Spencer Johnson for the Cougars. They're on a run, a 6-0 run. Khalifa, wide open three. He missed it. They battle for the rebound, taken off nicely by DeMichael. An excellent rebounding guard. Forecourt comes Grant for the Dukes. The Dukes are going to call a timeout with 1:34 to go in the half, leading by 33-27.
Brought to you by Panera. All your catering needs, tailgating for the game, family gatherings, office meetings. No group is too small or too large. Panera Bread catering for all occasions. Catering.panerabread.com, giving you Dukes basketball. And also brought to you by Bud Light Seltzer, a proud sponsor of Duquesne Athletics. Bud Light Seltzer, score the loudest flavors ever. Also brought to you by Giant Eagle. We know Duquesne fans expect the very best. From prepared foods made fresh in store to salty snacks, we have everything you could want while watching the basketball mayhem unfold. Congratulations to the Duquesne men's and women's basketball programs for their tournament bids from Giant Eagle Market District and Get-Go. Let's go Dukes.
1:34 remaining till intermission. Dukes have led throughout except for one possession there when the Cougars went up by one, but the Dukes answered right back. Their biggest lead was 12, but the Cougars are hanging in there against them. You know, they're not an impressive kind of looking team, but they're efficient, aren't they?
That's what Spencer Johnson said yesterday during the media press conference. We're not going to win any games coming off the bus. And I get where he's coming from. You know, particularly their big guys don't look like they can run up and down the court with you because they can't, but they can do other things. And then there's, as we discussed in the open, a significant number of Cougars that can make you pay if you lose them on the perimeter. It's not one guy that they rely on for their three-point shooting.
Inbounds comes, return pass comes to Grant. Grant left sideline out to Netjes. Over to Rozier. 15 to shoot. Rozier top side right, dribbles to the right sideline. Looks for a shot, instead throws to Netjes. 8 to shoot. Netjes operating. Fadeaway 12-footer. No. And the rebound taken off by the Cougars as Waterman grabs it. 6-11 forward. Forecourt to Hall. Duke's lead is down to 6. A correction, 5. 33-28 is the scoreboard. And the layup is up and good by Johnson. They must have kind of won a 3 that I didn't. It's 33-30. Duquesne's lead is down to 3. Outside Rozier, top side left. Comes on a return pass. Netjes for 3. Hit it! Right sideline 3 by the freshman. 36-30. That was a big one.
He's been fantastic in these two tournaments so far.
Wow. He's getting a lot of minutes as a result. Driving hard. Hall outside to Khalifa. Khalifa comes to the left on a couple of dribbles. Throws a lead pass. Intercepted by Rozier nicely. Cross-court pass. Netjes driving all the way to the basket. Lays it up and in. What a sensational drive by the freshman. He just flew down that left lane. I thought he was going too fast to control himself.
He was.
He made it. 38-30. Netjes with 5 unanswered. Gets the Dukes lead back to 8. Outside Khalifa for 3. No. Rebound Duquesne. Grant at the buzzer. Score at the half here in the first round of the NCAA playoff from Omaha, Nebraska. It's Duquesne 38, BYU 30. Our halftime show comes up right after this break on the Duquesne Basketball Network.
Welcome to Helltown. Helltown's mission to brew quality craft beer using the best ingredients has created some of its staple beers, including Mischievous Brown Ale, Buffy Hazy IPA, and Lattice New England IPA, brewed locally in export in Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. Helltown can be found throughout Pennsylvania, Maryland, and West Virginia. Check them out firsthand at any of their 4 Pennsylvania tap rooms located in Export, Houston, Mount Pleasant, and Pittsburgh's Strip District. HelltownBrewing.com. Helltown Brewing reminds you to always drink responsibly.
Do you want better results from your sales team? What if you could avoid radio silence from prospects or increase your closing percentage? Is your leadership team ready for the challenges ahead? Do you have the right people in place to help you achieve all that is possible? If now is the right time to grow your people and grow your sales, visit TalaricoGroup.com to learn more.
It's time for the Welcome to Moe's halftime show. Moe's Southwest Grill. Visit any of their 9 Pittsburgh area locations.
And let's take a look behind the numbers and review the first half stats brought to you by the accounting and consulting firm Schneider Downs. Find out what big thinking and personal focus can do for your organization. Duke's lead at 38-30 at the half. Well, if you get your field glasses out, maybe you can see these stats here, Tim.
Well, one stat that I don't need my glasses to see, I could hear it from the fans because they're well aware of it, and that is just one free throw attempt for the Dukes in that entire first half. A disparity because the Cougars are 7 of 9 from the free throw line, and the Duke fans definitely thinking that the better seed getting the advantage of the calls. Jakob Netjes, yak till you drop. 8 points on 3 of 5 shooting, as well as 12 points for Day Grant, 5 of 9 from the floor, and Robinson for BYU, who had 13 points in the first half on 3 of 6 shooting, managed to be the leading scorer for BYU. 8 big rebounds for Johnson, who usually has 6 from the guard position. We'll take a break right now on the Moe's Southwest Grill halftime show and come back as we'll be joined by Norm Nixon, as promised here as we roll on Fox Sports Radio 970.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Cordia, we approach energy from a different point of view, asking what's next instead of what now, perfecting solutions long before they are needed. Our team pushes boundaries, asks tough questions, and explores every possibility. We drive innovation so the energy you rely on today paves the way to a more sustainable tomorrow. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
Life-changing is happening every day at UPMC.
I think nursing is one of the most important jobs in the world. You have to have the book smarts and the critical thinking skills. But there's this 50% that is just relating to people. I get to positively impact a person's life every single day of my life.
That's life-changing medicine at UPMC.
With Tim Benz, Ray Goss courtside here in Omaha, Nebraska, as the Dukes lead it at the half over BYU 38-30. And we're so glad to see Norm Nixon is our guest at halftime. He flew in from L.A. this morning, right?
Flew all night.
All night to get here.
Exactly.
And, I talk about you all the time, of course, but the big reason we talk about you is 1977 was the last time the Dukes win the NCAAs, as you well know.
It's a sad commentary, but it's great that these guys are here. They've finally broken through, man, and I think it's going to be good for the university recruiting-wise. It's good for the spirit of for the school. Hopefully the students will start supporting the team, and it's great for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about 77, though. People keep asking me. I try to rack my brains, but I remember it pretty well. Just, we were surprised to get there just like this team was.
Well, I sent a little message to them, and one of the things I wanted to say, if you get hot at the right time, you could win that tournament, and I didn't put it because I didn't want the video to be too long, but they got hot at the right time, and they've carried that momentum into this game, too, because they look very good out there.
Yeah, if I recall, we played at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. It was the first year of the Eastern 8, am I right?
Exactly.
There was just 8 teams in it, and beat Penn State in the afternoon, beat Massachusetts at night, and then beat Villanova, coached by Rolly Massimino, in the finals.
Exactly.
And you had 27 in that final game and were MVP of the tournament by far.
Oh, listen, those were great memories. And like I said, we got hot at the right time. And to win the inaugural tournament was just a great thing. And I tell everybody, Duquesne propelled my NBA career.
Well, then you went down to, I think it was Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh, North Carolina, to play the first round and lost to VMI. And you were a first-team pick of the Lakers, but they had 3 first-teamers that year, and also the guy from VMI, Carter.
Well, Ron Carter came the year after my year. They drafted Kenny Carr. Then they drafted Brad Davis because they were assuming Brad would be the starting point guard and I would come off the bench, but I didn't quite see it that way. So I was the 3rd first-round pick.
And how long do you play for the Lakers?
I played 6 with the Lakers and then 6 with the Clippers.
And you won a couple rings or one?
I won a couple. I won two.
8
and 82, yeah. Don't be cutting my rings down, Ray. I got 2.
And you've been in the communications business along with other things.
Yeah, I do a lot of post game. It keeps me around the game. I do about 20, 25 games. That's enough for me right now.
And how about your family?
Oh, my wife is doing wonderful. My kids, everybody keep asking me about that series winning time. That was my son that played me in the series. And they keep asking me how true it was, and I tell them they stretch the truth a lot in that. But I said to him, go make your money, just don't make me look too bad.
Well, for those who don't know, who is your wife?
Miss Debbie Allen,
oh, yeah.
Nixon. And we met in Pittsburgh, filming the Fish to Save Pittsburgh after my rookie year.
Norm, you mentioned how long it's been and this putting the program back on the map and getting eyes on Duquesne, especially with the new building. I don't know how often you've been able to see it, if you've seen it since it reopened.
I haven't seen it since it reopened. I was in it before they did the big remodel. But this is great. I mean, Duquesne had a storied history. I knew the history of Duquesne. When you look at a lot of the first African Americans that played in the NBA, they came from Duquesne, the only school to have #1 picks back-to-back year, right? 2 years in a row we had the first pick. Cy Hugo got drafted before Bill Russell.
Amazing.
So the Rickett brothers, Fletcher Johnson, Willie Somerset, and your old guy, Jerry Durham. I played with Train, Mike Barr. Mike Barr was a guy I played one-on-one with all the time in the gym. Great defensive player. So Duquesne was just a wonderful environment for me.
Kareem Rozier said to me, he kind of gave it like what Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers, said about the drought that they've been in, not winning a playoff game in 7 years. Somebody asked him about it, and he said, that's my history. That's not their history. That's not the new members of the team history. That's my history.
Exactly.
And Rozier kind of said the same thing insofar as I didn't miss the tournament for 47 years. I missed it for 1. This is my second year, and I'm here. How important is that mentality for these guys to have?
You have to have that mentality because you can't deal with the past reputation of what happened in the past. I mean, you got to start every year out like it's your first year and it's your favorite to win the NCAA tournament. That has nothing to do with them because if you want to pick something to model yourself after, it was those old teams that won the NIT and those great teams. But with this, in the basketball environment, now it's just different now. I mean, with the NIL money, with the way these guys can go from school to school. So it's just a different environment. But I'm just so happy for these young guys to have an opportunity to experience this.
Let's go back to when you were recruited because John Sinicola was the assistant coach.
Yes.
Came down to Macon, Georgia to look at someone else, didn't he?
Came to look at Tree Rollins.
Rollins.
His favorite story is like I went down to get somebody 7'2", I came back with somebody 6'2".
I know. He came back and told Reddy, he said, they got a guard down there that we should try to get, And were you recruited by other schools? You must have been.
I was recruited by a lot of schools. Well, Georgia at that time, we were more known for football, so I probably had more offers in football than basketball from big schools. University of Georgia was one of the schools that were really after me to come and play. But I visited Duquesne, and I just had such a great time. And, wanting to get out of the South at that particular time and experience something different. Duquesne was a major independent. We played Notre Dame. We played all the big schools. So for me, it was just an opportunity to just expand my, just my horizon, both on the court, off the court, with the experience that I had playing in New York and Philadelphia and D.C.
I'm getting too old, but I like to reminisce. I remember a game against Providence at the Civic Arena. Kevin Stakem, 8 seconds to go. You had made a basket, I think, to cut it to 1. But they had the ball coming in bounds, and you intercepted. And you dribbled to the top of the key, and I thought, he's got to shoot it. The clock is down. And you threw it to Bernie O'Keefe,
and he made the shot. But one of the things that propelled that game, if my memory, Ray, I'm a little older now too. I think I blocked his shot. It was a transition. I blocked his shot, and I came and I kicked it to Bernie, and that's the biggest shot in Bernie's college career.
Yeah, he hit it out of the corner. I remember. I've talked to him since then. And, before the three-pointer, didn't need 3, you only need 2. But I look at that as people say, what was the most exciting? That is the one most exciting play I've ever seen at Duquesne.
And they were a ranked team, I think, at that time. With who they had, that was Marvin.
The big
Barnes.
guy.
Yeah, Marvin Barnes.
Yeah.
They had Marvin
and
Barnes,
Kevin
Stakem. I ended up playing against both of those guys in the NBA. But of course, we weren't the favorite to win that game, but we pulled it off.
Yeah. Hey, it's so great to see you. Thanks for taking the time to come down and see us.
I would never miss an opportunity to sit down with you, Ray.
Oh, that's kind of
never.
You. That's good.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Norm Nixon of Duquesne fame, our halftime guest here as the Dukes lead it by 38-30, and our halftime show continues right after this on the Duquesne Basketball Network.
City Life Residential is thrilled to be a proud partner of Duquesne University football. For years, I was on that field, watching how the games united fans, students, and alumni. Years later, we've made it our mission to partner with great organizations like Duquesne University to help in our commitment to transform lives and strengthen our community. So whether you're cheering for the Dukes or searching for your next place to call home, City Life Residential would love to be a part of your hometown team. City Life Residential, Pittsburgh's #1 real estate investment firm. Let's go Dukes!
The Cambria Hotel Pittsburgh Downtown is a proud partner of Duquesne Athletics with an ideal downtown location next to PPG Paints Arena and steps away from Duquesne University. Take a walk to campus, catch a game, or stay in and dine at the Social Circle Restaurant and Bar. At the Cambria, you'll enjoy upscale accommodations at a great Duquesne discounted rate. Visit CambriaPGH.com to book your stay today.
Let's take a look behind the numbers and review the first half stats brought to you by the accounting and consulting firm Schneider Downs. Find out what big thinking and personal focus can do for your organization. We gave you some of the numbers earlier from an individual perspective. When you look at the field goal shooting for Duquesne, back up to 48%, BYU 35%. The Dukes were shooting at 50% right around the second media timeout, then went into a long lull. Ray, we saw this a number of times in Brooklyn, didn't we? Insofar as Duquesne managed to get through those extended stretches where the offense was giving them nothing. They leaned into the defense. They didn't let the other team get away. Kind of a carbon copy here in the first half.
I'll never forget that. We scored 4 whole points in 10 minutes and still managed to come on and win that ball game. 21 points in the second half, and we won the ball game. But it's the defense. The defense, they hang their hat on it, and they're playing well. And they're kind of letting them play. It's been pretty physical.
Well, they're certainly letting BYU play, and we figured that out based on the reaction of the fans yelling at the officials going off the court because Duquesne has just 1 free throw attempt in the entire game so far. Turnovers thus far, kind of at a minimum. BYU was 6, Duquesne with 5 points off turnovers, 9 for Duquesne. A couple of those steals by Jimmy Clark certainly prove large. And when it comes to the three-pointers, 5 of 13 for Duquesne and 5 of 14 for BYU. You would have thought that BYU would be way out in both of those categories, shots, attempts, and makes, but I thought there was a real agenda on their part early in the game to drive the ball, put it on the deck, and not be so three-reliant in the early portions of that first half. But then they sort of found what they usually do, and they started to shoot from the outside a lot more.
Well, the Dukes really guarded that three-point line a lot, just almost refusing to let him shoot a three. It's just a longer time. I didn't see the clock at halftime.
It's longer for the tournament. Yeah.
Well, that's good because we got a chance to talk to Norman. He's still with us. You know, we can put you on. You can jump in once in a while. You don't mind, do you, Tim?
No,
I was just listening to you guys. I tell you, the most impressive thing for me about this team is their defense and effort. These guys play hard. They play great defense. And one thing for sure, defense would definitely keep you in any game.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That was Behind the Numbers, brought to you by the accounting and consulting firm Schneider Downs. How big thinking with a personal focus can help your organization. We'll take a break, come back, and be ready for the second half here from Omaha. Dukes out in front 38-30 at halftime. Game 1 of the NCAA tournament here in Nebraska.
Do you want better results from your sales team? What if you could avoid radio silence from prospects or increase your closing percentage? Is your leadership team ready for the challenges ahead? Do you have the right people in place to help you achieve all that is possible? If now is the right time to grow your people and grow your sales, visit TalaricoGroup.com to learn more.
Life-changing is a nursing career where you have the power to take the lead. and opportunities to make real change, where you work alongside colleagues that care and see inspiration every day, where you're celebrated for who you are and have the support you need for what matters most to you. Life-changing is being a nurse at UPMC. Explore your career options today at upmc.com/nursing.
The Duquesne Duke second half is brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of Duquesne Athletics.
Thanks again to Moe's for sponsoring the halftime show. Visit any of their 10 Moe's locations in and around Pittsburgh, including Market Square and Oakland. Moe's Southwest Grill, a proud partner of Duquesne Athletics. Time now for the Sherwin-Williams Points in the Paint segment. Ray Goss, Tim Benz back with you. Thanks so much to Norm Nixon for joining us, the legendary Duquesne Duke, former LA Laker. Sherwin-Williams Points in the Paint, the outlook for the second half. Sherwin-Williams, the official paint provider of Duquesne Athletics. Sherwin-Williams covering the earth and helping paint the Duquesne story. What were your biggest takeaways, Ray, from that first half, and how do the Dukes manage to massage this 8-point lead into something more, hopefully, and how do they hold off the inevitable run from BYU that we saw from, say, VCU under similar circumstances, the A-10 title?
Well, like you talked, this is like a lot of the games we saw in Brooklyn. Dukes get a lead, the other team comes back, and the Dukes have been able to hold on and find ways to win it at the end. Let's just hope they can keep scoring, though. Coach Keith Dambrot said our offense has to help our defense. In other words, they got to put enough points on the board. But I'm impressed the way Duquesne has played, because they were an overwhelming underdog going into this game, Tim. It's like,
I saw it open at 7.5. That was the first line I saw. Now, of course, especially with NCAA games, you don't get to see like the official lines in a lot of places until the night before. But I saw some lines that were put out there that were 7.5, and it ballooned in some places to 10.5.
Wow.
And remember, Ray, like a lot of people sort of looked at this as a misseeded game because most folks thought that BYU would be no worse than a 5, and many of us thought that Duquesne would be no better than a 12.
Right.
But because BYU doesn't play on Sundays, they were limited in where they could put them, especially in terms of the regions and how the bracket was falling out. They only had one more spot to put them in as a 5, and it was on a Sunday. So they just made them a 6, and they kind of bumped up Duquesne a line or two. So they got a little bit of a kiss in that context, but they're still playing a team that probably doesn't deserve to be a 6, so it comes out in the wash. And I think just on the pure looking at it, without taking that into consideration, a lot of people might have gambled up that line some to the point of where it was closed today in many houses, a 10.5-point margin.
When you look at a team that you don't know too much about from a different part of the country, and they got 6'11" people, they shoot the 3 like crazy, and they're a big favorite. I was just concerned in the first half, can we hang in there with them? Well, we did more than that. We lead by 8 at the half. But as Jared Durham always says, you have a good half and a bad half. I assume that was kind of a good half for Duquesne. Let's hope they don't get a bad half here and can continue to play well. And let's face it, I think you're right. BYU can definitely shoot better. The Dukes have defensive force, maybe some shots that they shouldn't have taken, but yet they missed a lot of good shots.
During the moments where BYU was coming back, they were doing a lot of what VCU did when it came to challenging the dribble handoffs up high. VCU did a really good job in that context, and that was a big reason why they closed the gap on Duquesne. They ramped up their defensive intensity, something crazy against the Dukes in the second half. I expect that same sort of reaction from Brigham Young now that they know they're looking at an 8-point deficit going to start the second half. You know, Ray, I always get myself in trouble with the brackets because I find a team or two when I'm watching basketball intently in November that I just fall in love with. And I probably happen to see them on their best day too many times. And that's exactly what I did with BYU. I saw BYU a number of times where they were playing their best basketball, and I convinced myself that they were going to be a dark horse team. And then I, of course, saw them pop up as Duquesne's opponent. I'm like, oh, no. So I had a really high opinion of BYU coming into this one. And Duquesne they didn't seem to have that much of an opinion of them at all. They didn't play like it. They didn't play intimidated. They didn't play like they were seeing a much better team. They took it to BYU early, as they did each of their 4 opponents in Brooklyn.
Right. The officials working this ball game, Pat Driscoll, Ken Burdett, and Sean Hall. It's been a physical game. Dukes come out for the second half with Dixon, Foussini Drame, Jake DeMichael, Jimmy Clark, and Day Grant, their starting 5. And the Cougars are out there with Johnson, Hall, Khalifa, Waterman, and that is Tyler Nell. First possession for BYU. High outside post to the big guy, Khalifa. Looks for cutters, hands off to Johnson behind him. Johnson throws to Khalifa. He's in deep. He's real deep. He's looking to maneuver. Jump hook from 6, missed it badly. And they tie up. Foussini goes down.
Get ugly here.
They got into a little wrestling match here. They went down with a held ball, and both players decided they wanted to keep holding on to that ball.
They'll probably look at this on the monitor for about an hour and a half. Pat Driscoll got hurt. One of the officials got hurt in the fray here. Pat Driscoll looks a little dazed. He went in there hard to try to break things up, and I wonder if he got popped in the process.
Foussini Dumais was the one holding the ball, and I don't know if it was Nell or who it was on the other side. We'll try to see if they give us a replay.
They're not showing that in stadium. No way. I think it was Waterman who kind of threw Drame down to the court while they were wrestling to get the loose ball.
I didn't think there was too much. They just went hard on the floor, and they both had the ball, and they kind of tumbled, but then they kept you're not going to get this ball from me. You know?
I think Drame felt like he was taken advantage of there because of the tied ball, the leverage. He was leveraged and thrown to the ground, and that's what set him off.
This all happened with 20 seconds gone in the second half, 19:40 to go, and the big wrestling match as the Dukes lead at 38-30 on a missed shot. The officials are going over. They're going to look at this. This is going to take some time, I think.
Yeah, this is definitely going to take a while. And we would love to tell you, if you're listening at home, what we saw, but we could just see it through the bodies. And there's no doubt about it. Drame went at Waterman on the floor after they both went to the floor, but Waterman took him to the floor.
Yeah.
So my guess is they'll give him both technicals and play on, but
I think that's
this would be matching minors in hockey, so to speak.
That's a good assessment. Players are just, they just get so intense. Once you have the held ball, just let go of it.
Here it is. They're showing it. They went to it.
Yeah, just very quickly.
The BYU fans are saying that Drame threw a punch. I mean, he definitely rolled back into Waterman on his back. This is always a point of frustration for me. I mean, if you're going to use the monitor for the folks on TV and show it a million times and show it to the officials, then the people who are paying hundreds of dollars in stadiums should at least know what the heck is going on and be able to see it. It's not like anybody walked away getting knocked out. There's no felony committed. Just show the play.
Yeah.
I mean, they're grown-ups now. They're making money doing this now. They're not kids anymore. This baby stuff, when it comes to coddling the college players with the replays in-house, it drove me nuts, and the referees too, for that matter. Drove me nuts last year. I went to a couple different regions, and it was replay after replay, delay after delay like this, where...
Boy, this is a long one. We knew it would be. Can you understand what he's saying? PA announcer's making it.
Double technical given to Drame, so he's up to 3. Waterman was assessed a personal. They got to be careful with Drame now.
Oh, yeah. And he's the Duke's leading rebounder.
And I know the TV guys are going to get an explanation. That'd be nice if we got one too, but
yeah.
They're going to give it to Duquesne. No free throws assessed. Yeah, so they assessed the technical to Drame.
It's Duquesne's ball.
Yeah. Drame's got 5 rebounds to lead the team. He's had, it was 34 over the 4 games in Brooklyn. It was an absolute force on the boards with 12.
And Netjes just replaced him. He comes on the floor.
Yeah, 12 in the VCU game in the final. And Netjes, who was a hero in the first half, has been put back in. And they're really going to stretch out his minutes.
Duquesne ball. Clark forecourt. Out near the dividing line against the man-to-man. 20 to shoot. Still bouncing the ball. Drives hard to the right, stops. 15-foot jumper, no go. And the rebound easily taken off the floor by Johnson. Drives to the forecourt. Throws it outside to Khalifa. Knocked loose to steal. Dixon trying to go all the way and stuffs it. Wow!
That's the matchup they wanted. That's why they want him out there when Khalifa's out there. They think Dixon can take advantage.
When he was dribbling the ball, I thought, oh, no, don't keep dribbling it, but he did. And he took it in and stuffed it home. Waterman outside to Khalifa. Duquesne by 10, 40 to 30. Behind the screen, Nell bounces the ball out to Khalifa. Looks for cutters. Looks for anyone. Throws it off to his right. And Johnson behind the back pass. Khalifa, a 3-ball. He missed it. It goes out of bounds. Duquesne's ball. It's a shot clock violation.
Good job by Netjes there. Did you notice that, Ray? He was a little bit late coming out. He was frustrated because there was a steal to be had on a lazy behind-the-back bounce pass to Khalifa. But he adjusted. He stayed with it. He realized Khalifa was going to shoot it right away and got a hand in his face.
Clark comes forecourt for the Dukes, up by 10. They've led by 12 in the first half a couple of times. Clark still bouncing the ball. Guarded at the point by Hall. Off the ball foul. It's against the Cougars.
They got Nell for holding DeMichael on the cut along the baseline.
Non-shooting foul. 18-21 to go in the game. This one's getting testy. Duquesne leads it by 40 to 30. And it'll be Clark inbounding on the end line. Looks for anyone. Gives it to Dixon. Back to Clark. Comes outside on the dribble against Hall. Throws it to Grant, a 3. Yes! Straight onto the hoop. 23 feet away. The Dukes their biggest lead. 43 to 30. With 18:06 to go in the game. And outside the pass comes topside to Nell going to his left. He throws up a 3-ball. High rebound comes out and is tipped out and goes in the backcourt. Nell picks it off. Gives it to Hall who comes forecourt. Hall dribbles. Is bothered by Clark. He drives, gets in, reverse layup, beauty. He made a nice play. 43 to 32 on the basket by their point guard, Dallin Hall. Forecourt, Clark for the Dukes, running the point. Looking for a screen from Dixon. Now throws it to Dixon, goes behind him, drives, gets in, throws a pass back out, and barely grabbed by DeMichael. 9 to shoot. DeMichael outside. Gives it. The 8-foot runner is no good. Off the rim and taken down by the Cougars. Waterman on the board. Dukes by 11. Basketball for BYU. Left sideline is Johnson. He drives that baseline. Lost the ball. Stolen by Netjes. He gives it to Clark. Forecourt. Right sideline. Grant driving. Corner. The 3-ball's in the air. Good by DeMichael out of the corner. The Dukes with their biggest lead. 46 to 32 by 14 with 16:45 to go. And a timeout on the floor. The fans, the Duquesne supporters here, and there are many, are up and cheering their team on with 16:44 to go in the game, and the Dukes leading by 46 to 32.
Duquesne basketball brought to you by UPMC and the UPMC Health Plan, the official healthcare provider of Duquesne Athletics. Also brought to you by Bud Light. When there's a game on, Bud Light is there. Proud friend of Duquesne Athletics. Bud Light reminds you to always drink responsibly. And we're brought to you by Leon's. Dukes fans, come visit Duquesne alum Mike Leon at Leon's Billiards and more today. Leon's has the highest quality billiard products, shuffleboards, foosball tables, video games, and so much more. Build your game room with Leon's Billiards and more, the official gaming partner of Duquesne Athletics. Visit Mike Leon in Wexford or at leonsbilliards.com.
Duke's coming in here with an 8-game winning streak. That's the biggest one, I think, in the country right now about the teams in the NCAAs. And they just are playing terrific ball here in Omaha.
Great job by Day Grant to run the curl on his three-pointer, catch and shoot, instant release, got his feet square right at the top of the key, and an equally fine effort from DeMichael in the corner after the passing around the perimeter, got it out to him in the corner, and he drained one as well. Both shooters not getting ahead, not getting too excited in the moment, squaring up, finding themselves in their shooting action, and drained it both times as Duquesne has found its offense after halftime.
Grant with 15 to lead Duquesne. And Robinson has been quiet, but he had 13 in the first half to lead the Cougars.
I bet you see him coming back from the commercial break here. They'll bring him off the bench and play him, I think. DeMichael up to 8, Netchis at 8, Dixon at 7, and they're getting by with another cold shooting day from Jimmy Clark. He was 2 of 17 against VCU, just 1 of 7 so far here, and 2 points. But he's got 4 assists, and he's got the 2 steals as well. The big concern that I've got is Drame, and they're a little slow to adjust this. Now they've adjusted it back. Okay, it's back to 3 personal fouls for him and the technical. They were straightening that out because he was the one that picked up the extra foul when he went to the floor in the process with Waterman that got reviewed. That's a win for BYU, and Waterman is really ticking off the Dukes. I mean, he throws an elbow in your chest or in your back just about every time you're cutting through. That started right away. I don't think it's a coincidence that fracas broke out because Waterman was the guy involved for BYU. That wasn't an accident.
Duke's on the floor with the 5 that left the floor. Dixon and Netchis seeing a lot of action. Basketball for the Cougars. And Robinson is out there. Pass comes to Hall. He runs the attack to Saunders, to Robinson. Hall, top of the circle. Throws it to a cutter in deep. The 6-footer's up and no good. Rebound, who wants it? Netchis off the floor for Duquesne. As a shot was missed inside by Traore. Duquesne ball. Forecourt, Clark. Out to Netchis. Left corner. Grant comes up with a 16-foot jumper. No. He likes that shot. It didn't go, though. Forecourt comes Johnson for BYU. Out to Hall. Duke's lead 46-32. Right sideline. Driving. Robinson's shot is partially blocked. Went out of bounds.
Oh, that's...
One official didn't see the deflection. Pat Driscoll did, though.
I mean, I've seen some bad misses in my life.
Yeah.
That one had to be affected by Clark. When Clark is taking credit for the block, you kind of can't give it to Duquesne as much as I would have liked to see that transpire that way.
The shot went 45 degrees to the left. Right now, there's a timeout on the floor with 15:54 to go in the contest. The score, Duquesne 46, BYU 32. Back after this, courtesy of Cordia. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
Welcome to Moe's! Starving but no time? Just order ahead on the Moe's app with a few taps. Then pick up your burrito or bowl and devour it wherever. Plus, with the Moe's app, you can save your faves and get rewards. No wonder everyone's loving phone to table.
I was impressed with how Schneider Downs values its employees.
Senior Manager Angie McCarty.
I left public accounting many years ago, and the reason I left was because I was pregnant and I knew that I couldn't have a child and continue with my work schedule that I was accustomed to, so it wasn't even an option. Now I think it's great that I see women who are able to have children and maintain their career.
At Schneider Downs, our employees are our most important asset. Learn more at schneiderdowns.com.
Welcome to Moe's!
The best club in town is the Chicken Club. It's got all natural white meat chicken, bacon, and Chipotle Ranch. Build your quesadilla, burrito, or bowl through Moe's.com or the Moe's app.
Big Spring Spirits is a proud partner with Duquesne Athletics. Our distillery creates exceptionally handcrafted spirits with Pennsylvania's best tasting water source. You can find our spirits at either of our Pennsylvania locations in Bellefonte or 7 fields. Big Spring Spirit ships for free within Pennsylvania for any purchases made on our website at bigspringspirits.com. And Wednesday's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $687 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. At Drury Hotels, a good night's sleep is just the beginning. Our friendly team members and generous free amenities will brighten your day and make your journey easier. For reservations, call 1-800-DRURY-INN or visit us on the web at druryhotels.com. Drury Hotels, travel happy. 15:54 to go in this contest, and the Dukes lead it by 14, 46-32. You keep wondering, is there a run in the BYU team? You hope not.
I'm not wondering. I know that there is. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Ooh.
Based on what we saw against VCU, based on what we saw against Dayton, based on what we saw against St. Bonaventure, it's just how do the Dukes handle it? There will be one. How do the Dukes handle it? And they handled it really well in the first half.
Outside Hall. When you have a double-digit lead, it's hard to get a big, big run. Hall will drive right to the basket all the way and hook layup. Missed it badly. Netches the boards easily for Duquesne.
Oh, now Jimmy Clark got popped in the face.
Clark comes forecourt for the Dukes to the right sideline. Still yo-yoing the ball against Hall. Comes off a screen. Comes to the basket. Throws a bad pass. It's intercepted. And a foul, I think, on Clark. And that's as he hit the floor along with Hall.
Well, one way to let a run happen is if you got Drame and Clark on the bench at the same time. And that's kind of their own doing through foul difficulties. Clark got frustrated because he lost the ball. He tried to dive through 2 different bodies to get that loose ball. He's never going to get there.
Rozier replaces Clark as Hall brings it forecourt. Big height advantage over Rozier, but Rozier's quick. He goes to the left sideline, bouncing the ball still with 18 to shoot. Duquesne by 14. Hall looks, throws it in. Easy leb score inside by Traore.
That's his first basket in 4 tries. Khalifa was 0 for 6. So those guys are 1 for 10 combined inside for BYU.
Dukes by 12. Mahorchich hands to Rozier behind him. Comes a pass. Netjes drives the baseline. 8-foot runner airballed it. He shot a right-handed and he's a left-hander. Forecourt. Shovel pass to Robinson. He drives. He's in tight. Layup. Good.
Oh, what a basket.
Wow, that was a great shot.
Robinson. Tough angle.
4 unanswered by BYU. This could be the start of their run. Dukes need to stop it right here. DeMichael between circles. Dukes by 10. Right sideline, it goes to Grant. Grant looking to go. Drives in. Hands off. Layup is missed inside by Mahorchich, but a foul.
He got stuck deciding if he was going to dunk it or try to lay it in, but he got fouled. So we'll go to the free throw line for 2, but that very easily could have been and should have been an and 1 opportunity.
67% free throw shooter. Dusan Mahorchich at the line. The grad student. He's playing in the 6th team in 6 years. With COVID and the transfer, 1 year was a freebie, so to speak. Saunders is back in for the BYU team. First one's on the way and rolls off.
Mahorchich now 24 of 37 at the line this season.
You can't make 2, make 1, Dusan. 4 unanswered by the visitors. He missed them both, and the rebound hauled off there by Spencer Johnson for the BYU Cougars. Johnson out front, gives it to Traore. He cuts to his left, gives off to Saunders. Saunders drives, he's in. His shot is partially blocked with a foul called on the play. A foul called on the play, and is that DeMichael?
Yeah, it's his second. Dixon coming back in. They're going to roll the dice and put Drame back in with 3.
I'm like Al McGuire. You're not rolling the dice. 3 in the second half. And they always say you have to take him out. They have to take him out when he gets 5. Shot is missed on the line from Saunders. I go way back. It was
some confusion here as to who's coming in for who. They're going to actually take Drame and Dixon and put
What
them back.
happened?
I don't know, but Dambrot was trying to get the substitutions in. Both guys came on the floor.
And then they came off.
I don't know what the issue was.
This one's good.
Oh, there's a lane violation. That's what it was. There was a lane violation.
That was it. So the first miss didn't count. Saunders hits one now, and he'll get another one.
Well, that was costly.
Yeah, it sure is. It's 46-37. And Saunders shoots and makes that. They've cut it to 8. 6 unanswered by BYU. Rozier comes forecourt. Their fans are getting into it. High post pass comes to Netjes. Now to Dixon. Hands to Rozier. Over to Netjes. 14 to shoot. Driving, and Grant backs it out. Grant throws it to a cutter and then laying it in Netjes on a deflection. That was pure luck. It
Not
just
the way
hit
they drew it up.
It just came into his hands right under the basket. Driving, it is Robinson. He's been electric. 3 on the way. Missed it. Rebound chased down by Duquesne. Rozier got the rebound. Forecourt, Grant. Grant, top side left 3 ball in the air. High rim, no. Bounced out, almost went in. Grabbed up by Johnson. Forecourt to Robinson. Driving on Dixon. Backs it out of there. Johnson straight away to Hall. Left sideline to Saunders. Lead pass to Traore. He's deep. Instead, he throws it back out. Nice ball movement. Driving. Johnson shot up and good. Off the glass.
Good call, Ray. Traore got lost. He had no idea how much space he had, and that extended the possession, but BYU got 2 out of it anyway.
48-40 Duquesne. 12:46 to go. Still a lot of clock. Pass comes outside to Netjes. Gets a handoff. It goes to Rozier. Rozier looking for a shot. Drives, 15-footer on the way. No. Rebound taken off by Saunders. Saunders forecourt for BYU. They're on a run. Hall, Saunders, wide open 3, right wing. No. The rebound chased down, though, by the Cougars. Wide open Hall for 3. He missed it. And the rebound climbed up there. It is Dixon for Duquesne. Dukes by 8. Forecourt comes Grant. Grant bouncing the ball, taking some time off the clock. 11:57 to go. Grant cuts behind the screen, drives to the left, throws it out to Netjes. Clock at 7. Rozier drives, up the gut he goes. Tripped and falls down. Both officials have the call.
I'm going to give it to Saunders.
That's only the 4th team foul against the BYU team. 11:47 to go in the contest. There's a timeout on the floor with the score. Duquesne 48 and BYU 40. Back after this, courtesy of Cordia. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
Life-changing is happening every day at UPMC.
I think nursing is one of the most important jobs in the world. You have to have the book smarts and the critical thinking skills. But there's this 50% that is just relating to people. I get to positively impact a person's life every single day of my life.
That's life-changing medicine at UPMC.
The Big Spring Spirits Distillery was designed around being leaders in environmental stewardship. They're a gold-level LEED certified distillery with grain sourced from local farmers and is used to create their handcrafted corn, rye, wheat, and American whiskeys. The Big Spring water that runs behind our distillery is rainwater that is filtered through limestone, and that is what makes our spirits so exceptional. Visit their 2 tap rooms in Seven Fields or Bellefonte for complimentary tastings or buy online at BigSpringSpirits.com. Big Spring Spirits, proud partner of Duquesne Athletics.
And welcome back here as we have Duquesne out in front 48-40. That's the score right now in the second half. Tim Benz, Ray Goss with you. Duquesne out in front of BYU as the Dukes try to push back against BYU. Has a little run going here. Big Spring Spirits, a proud partner with Duquesne Athletics. Our distillery creates exceptional handcrafted spirits with PA's best tasting water source. You can find our spirits at either of our PA locations in Bellefonte or Seven Fields. Big Spring Spirits ships for free within PA for any purchases made on our website at bigspringspirits.com. Also brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery, $687 million. That's the Powerball jackpot. An estimated annuity of $687 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Well, it's going to be a tough 11:47 down the stretch. BYU starting to make their run. They've scored 8 of the last 10 points, and they've cut the Duquesne lead to single digits, but it's still 8 points, and that's a nice lead with 11:47 to go. But the Dukes are going to have to keep scoring. And Tim, I think this game is going to be well into the 70s. I could be wrong, but they average 81 a game, the Dukes 71. I know Coach Keith Dambrot would like to have it in the 60s with maybe the Dukes having a 70.
Well, they're nearly perfect when they get to 71st, and I gave you the stat in
they
the pregame.
They are perfect, yeah.
So I gave the stat before when it came to BYU only being, with one win so far? Yeah, Central Florida back in January is the only time they've won a game under 70.
Dukes will inbound on the end line, 20 to shoot. 11:47 to go, leading by 48-40. Rozier to trigger. In the corner to Dixon, out to Rozier, comes top of the circle, throws under to Dixon, driving, hook shot, missed it, and the rebound taken off by the Cougars. Forecourt Hall. Hall outside on the dribble. Looks for someone, anyone. Out to Johnson, low to Traore, muscling, lay up, score. 48-42. Cougars cut it to 6. Forecourt Rozier for Duquesne. Top side right to Grant. Now Rozier off a screen. Throws it low to Fusini Drame. Maneuvering, jump hook, scores. Nice move. 50-42. That was big. He took his time. Dukes get it back to 8. Forecourt Hall for BYU. Guarded at the point by Rozier. Drives up the middle. Stops at the top of the circle. Looking on the blocks. Drives to the left. Throws it to Brian. Beautiful block out of bounds by Dixon. He blocks a layup by Traore.
He blocked that right into the BYU cheerleaders, and they were startled.
11 to shoot, 10:44 to go in the game. Duquesne 50, BYU 42. Hall gets a breather, and Nell comes back in for the Cougars. They will inbound on the end line with Robinson out to play it in. Duke's defense has been terrific again. Robinson looking around, floats it out to the right sideline to Nell, and now Saunders, top side left to Johnson. Dribbles, throws in the corner, and foul by Fusini Drame.
That's a bad fourth foul. Coming down like that.
And immediately he'll come out of there, and Netchus back in for the Dukes.
He is by far their best rebounder. He's got 5 so far today. Rebounding edge in favor of the Cougars, 27-10. And the fact that he's been limited in minutes, just 9 so far, I think is a big reason why.
10:34 to go, 50-42, Duquesne over BYU. BYU ball out to Robinson. He's their top gun. He dribbles, throws up a 28-foot three, in and out, but followed, missed. Point blank by Traore and taken off by Duquesne. How he missed that one, I'll never know.
I can't believe he didn't dunk it.
Exactly. Forecourt. It is Grant for the Dukes. Three-pointer on the way. No. And the rebound. Dukes are missing. Forecourt. Johnson driving. Layup. Missed. And Netchus a nice rebound as he stole away from Saunders. Forecourt comes Rozier for Duquesne. 9:59 to go. 50-42 Duquesne. Both teams missing. Outside it comes on a Dixon. Dixon looks for, gives it to Rozier. Rozier top side left with the ball. Simply holding it. Looking to go. Now comes behind that screen, drives, alley-oop, and taking it to layup is up and what do they call it? Jump ball.
What?
A jump ball?
I mean, that could have been one of three things.
Yeah, but
And
jump
a
ball,
jump ball was
one
the
of
fourth. That could have been a foul. That could have been a travel. That could have been a play on. But a jump ball of the four things that it could have been, that was not one of them.
Dixon was ready to lay it in when the official blew the whistle and called a jump ball. I'm looking to see if I can see a replay on that. Are they going to protest it? Now, one of the officials
Pat
get
Driscoll
between.
is patting himself in the chest as if to say, my bad. I mean, if it's a travel, if they thought he traveled with it, that's one thing, then just give BYU the ball. But
Pat Driscoll gave a little talk to Robinson and Grant, who were nose to nose. Basketball for BYU. Hall back in. He was not long. He dribbles against Rozier into the forecourt. 9.5 to go. The Dukes lead it by 8. BYU ball. Outside it comes to Khalifa, who's back in. He gives it to Robinson. Robinson dribble drive to the basket, layup and score. He's been terrific for them. 50-44. Lead is down to 6. Duquesne ball. 9:10 to go. Grant out front. Looks for someone, throws it to Mahorcic, who dribbles warily to his left and looks for someone. Hands off to Rozier. 11 to shoot. Rozier, 18-footer. Good! The little guy hit it. On the baseline jumper, he was open. 52-44. Duquesne by 8. Basketball for BYU. Hall comes forecourt. What an exciting first round game. Robinson looking to go. He shovels back out to his man Khalifa driving. The pass comes outside. Robinson, a 3-ball. Hit it. And it's down to a 52-47 lead. Duquesne by 5. 8:23 to go. Duquesne has to keep answering. Outside with it. It is Grant. Goes it to Mahorcic. Then takes the handoff behind him. Dribbles hard to left. Backaway 13-footer. No good. Rebound taken off by Nell. Grant has lost the touch here momentarily. Outside with it. Robinson shaking and baking. Drives to the baseline. Out to Khalifa. Khalifa one dribble to Hall. Right sideline to Nell. Outside the Hall. Left sideline, left corner. Robinson drives. He's in. Layup. Score. 52-49. 7:44 to go in the ball game. Duquesne ball. Duquesne calls a timeout as Dukes need to talk it over. This is the run that you predicted, Tim, and the BYU Cougars have cut it to 3 with 7:41 to go in the ball game. Back after this, courtesy of Cordia. Cordia creating energy solutions.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The sound of an ice-cold Corona is music to my ears. Oh, run that back. Dope. Now drop that beat. And hit me with the hook, player. Hey, whatever you do with your fine life, just do you, player. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
At Drury Hotels, a good night's sleep is just the beginning. Our friendly team members and generous free amenities will brighten your day and make your journey easier. For reservations, call 1-800-DRURY-IN or visit us on the web at druryhotels.com. Drury Hotels, travel happy. Also brought to you by UPMC and the UPMC Health Plan, proud sponsor of Duquesne Athletics. Get-Go, celebrate game day your way at Get-Go. Order from a stacked lineup of made-to-order subs, burgers, crispy tots, and more in the Get-Go app. Get-Go Cafe and Market is a proud sponsor of Duquesne Athletics. Better believe it. Also brought to you by NCAAM, a Xerox company. Does your business rely on a variety of technological providers to meet your needs? Breakdowns between vendors can be time-consuming and costly. You need to meet the team at NCAAM. As a Xerox business solutions company, we offer a wide range of products and services from printers and copiers to managed IT services and robotic process automation. To learn more about optimizing your business, visit teamamcom.com. Tim Benz, Ray Goss with you here as Duquesne is trying to hold on to what has now become a 3-point lead, a 17-6 run for BYU. We talked about it a few minutes ago, Ray. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I mean, we saw this in Brooklyn where every time Duquesne had a nice lead in the second half, the other team pushed through and made the score closer, and we had some fluttery moments at the end of second halves, but right about now is usually when Duquesne countered back, and they need to do so again immediately. By the way, looking at some other scores here in the NCAA tournament, the game's going on in Pittsburgh, Akron, and Creighton. Creighton up 39-34 at halftime, and Michigan State beat Mississippi State in the first game of the day, 69-51. Arizona and Long Beach State 22-22. That score in the first half on TBS with 7:02 left to go.
Duquesne will have the ball coming inbounds, 24 to shoot. 7:41 to go, leading by 3. Rozier handles out front. And now to Grant, top side left. Clark is still on the bench. They give it to Fusini in the post. Across the lane he goes. Maneuvers back out to Grant. Grant with 7. Grant looking for that long ball. He'll drive, stop, 15-foot jumper. No, he's just been off here this half. Forecourt after the rebound. BYU with it outside. Khalifa looks. DeMichael is guarding Robinson, their top gun. Pass comes outside to Saunders. Now Robinson, a 3-ball for the top. Missed it. And a rebound easily taken off, boxing out nicely. Grant, he gives it to Rozier. Dukes need a basket. You got some separation here. Rozier near the dividing line. Comes to the right, gives to DeMichael, coming to the left, and now out to Grant. 15 to shoot. Rozier with it. Rozier top side. Over to Fusini. Drives, baseline, turns, spins. Back outside to Rozier. 7 on the clock. Straight away to Fusini. Now outside Grant with 2. Grant, 6-foot runner, way off the mark. Whistle. They call a shot clock violation because it did not hit the rim. Basketball for the Cougars.
They can grind clock. I get it. They want to limit the possessions, but you got to make it count when
Clark
you get the shot.
In. I knew Clark had to come in sooner than later. Clark is back in for Duquesne. 6:25 to go. Neither team scoring the last minute and a half or so. Lead 3 for Duquesne. Basketball, though, for BYU. Hall, their point guard, takes it forecourt. Guarded by Clark. Cuts off a screen. Throws it to a wide open Saunders. Duleza blocked by Duquesne, but taken off beautifully by the Cougars. With it, underneath it goes. The reverse layup is missed, but a foul on Duquesne as Traore will go to the line for 2.
Noticing on offense when they've had Drame in there, he's only played 11 minutes so far, but he hasn't had one 3-point shot, and they've not gotten him free in the corner at all, Ray, and that's been his hot spot all year long.
Traore at the line, 71% free throw shooter. 2 shots coming. First one's on the way, and good. The lead is 2 for Duquesne, 52-50. Traore for the second. 6:06 to go. On the way, also good. 1-point lead for Duquesne, 52-51. Their fans are into it. Forecourt comes Clark for Duquesne. Dribbles to the right. Looks for someone. Anyone. Throws it out to Grant. It's deflected in the backcourt. Grant, though, picks it up. 12 to shoot. He'll have to hustle to forecourt now. He's been off on his shooting, and he's fouled. He's fouled by Robinson. But that is only the 16th foul against the Cougars. Non-shooting foul for Duquesne. They'll get a fresh 20 on the clock. 5:44 to go. Duquesne's lead is 1 point. 52-51. They'll trigger in right in close to the Duquesne bench. And it comes in to Clark. Clark will dribble near the dividing line. Look for Grant. Instead comes off a double screen to the right. The ball knocked in the backcourt. Clark gets it back. 11 to shoot. Clark to the right. Clark looking to go. Looks for the jumper. Has it. Three-pointer on the way. Off the mark, but taken off. And laid up and in by Duquesne's Drame. With the shot clock down, Drame got a big rebound, and Fusini lays it in to give him a three-point lead. He'll go for the three-point play.
That's what he did about a half dozen times in the championship against VCU, wedging his way in, angling his way in. Puts this one up for a bucket. He was a perfect 6 for 6 at the free throw line against the Rams as well in the A-10 championship.
Dukes have not been shooting well, just missing the long shots. And out of there, it is Dixon back in. Netches comes over to whisper something in Fusini's ear. Dukes lead it by 3. Fusini can make it 4. He shoots. He hits. 54-51, a big three-point play by Fusini Drame. Relieves a little bit of pressure. Hall forecourt for BYU. Dribbles cross court, top of the circle. Gives it out to Robinson. Robinson against Netches, shaking and baking. There's a three ball. He hit it. 55-54, Duquesne by 1. Robinson has been the player of the game. He's just been terrific for the BYU team. DeMichael for Duquesne. Lead is 1 for the Dukes. 4:52 to go. Left sideline, it is Clark. Clark picked up on a switch by Saunders. Throws it on the blocks. Fusini has it. He's in. He's fouled. And Johnson whacked him, and it's a 1-and-1 as they're over the limit. Fusini has got to make some free throws. He made the last one to cap a three-point play. 4:44 to go. And Fusini Drame from the line is 66%.
You said previously that Duquesne's got to start making some shots. They sure do. They also have to find an answer for Robinson on the defensive end. They got to find him, period, more often.
Shot is good on the first. He'll get the bonus. 56-54 Duquesne. Duquesne has led throughout this ball game. They were back by 1 point one time. And Dixon ready to come back in for the Dukes. Who will he replace? He gives Grant a breather. He won't be out long, I don't think, Day. Even though he's been missing, maybe he just needs to catch his breath.
Less than a minute to go for the under 4, too. Maybe they're trying to give him some stamina for the home stretch.
Second one is no good and taken off by Traore. A basket would tie it. A 2 would give them the lead. Outside, Traore dribbles to the left, gives it off to Hall, their point guard. He shovels Traore, he's in deep. He falls down. Ball's deflected out of bounds by Duquesne. There was a bump there. No call, wisely no call. And he threw it, and unfortunately it was deflected by Duquesne. 14 to shoot, 4:28 to go. Duquesne 56, BYU 54. Cougars ball. Out to play Johnson. Gives it to Saunders in the corner. Back out to Hall. Hall dribbles to the right. Traore puts it up, missed a shot, in and out from 4 feet out. That ball was halfway down and popped out, and the Dukes got the rebound.
He can't buy any luck right now, Traore.
Dukes by 2 with the ball. Netches, right sideline, out to Clark, 17 to shoot. Now Dixon. Dixon hands off to Clark. Clark to the right. Jumper, 16 feet. Rim, good! It fell in. 58-54. Across the lane, Saunders is in tight. Dukes wanted traveling, didn't get it. Shoveling through to the baseline. It is Johnson out to Hall. 17 to shoot. Duquesne by 2 with 3:33 to go. Forecourt will come Clark. Grant still on the bench getting a breather for Duquesne. What an exciting first round game. Netches with it. Outside. Throws it to Dixon, who hands off to Clark. Clark to Fusini. Maneuvers. Head fake. Doubled up on. Bounces over to Dixon. Dixon makes a move. lanes in. Bad 6-footer. Off the rim, off the backboard, didn't even hit the rim. Forecourt, driving, Johnson right to the basket. A handoff underneath, knocked out of bounds by Clark as Traore went out for the layup, and he was stripped clean. Timeout on the floor with 3:01 to go in the game. The score, Duquesne 58 and BYU 56. Back after this, courtesy of Cordia. Cordia, creating energy solutions.
City Life Residential is thrilled to be a proud partner of Duquesne University football. For years, I was on that field, watching how the games united fans, students, and alumni. Years later, we've made it our mission to partner with great organizations like Duquesne University to help in our commitment to transform lives and strengthen our community. So whether you're cheering for the Dukes or searching for your next place to call home, City Life Residential would love to be a part of your hometown team. City Life Residential, Pittsburgh's #1 real estate investment firm. Let's go Dukes!
The Cambria Hotel Pittsburgh Downtown is a proud partner of Duquesne Athletics with an ideal downtown location next to PPG Paints Arena and steps away from Duquesne University. Take a walk to campus, catch a game, or stay in and dine at the Social Circle Restaurant and Bar. At the Cambria, you'll enjoy upscale accommodations at a great Duquesne discounted rate. Visit CambriaPGH.com to book your stay today.
Dean Honda is one of the largest volume dealerships in the Pittsburgh area. Visit them on Route 51 in Pleasant Hills or at DeanHonda.com. Ask about the Duquesne discount. Dean Honda, a proud partner of Duquesne Athletics. Also brought to you today by Big Spring Spirits, a proud partner with Duquesne Athletics. Our distillery creates exceptional handcrafted spirits with PA's best tasting water source. You can find our spirits at either of our PA locations in Bellefonte or Seven Fields. Big Spring Spirits ships for free within PA for any purchases made at our website, BigSpringSpirits.com. Tim Benz, Ray Goss with you as it's 58-56. Dukes in front of the Cougars. NCAA action, the first game in the tournament in 47 years for Duquesne. So you knew it was going to be heart-stopping. You knew it wasn't going to be easy. And even when Duquesne was up 46-32, we felt like Brigham Young was going to make a push. So far, Ray, they've only led by the score of 20-19, and that was it. By 1 point, they got in front 20-19, and then the Dukes got the next basket and stretched the lead out again. And it's right there on that margin now, only leading by 2 points. And Duquesne, I believe, yes, still will be playing defense here after the ball went out of bounds with 21 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Talk about excitement. First round of the NCAA playoffs, 47 years ago was the last time the Dukes made the NCAAs, and they're trying to come up with a win in the first round to advance Saturday against the winner of the next game between Morehead State and third-seeded Illinois. Dukes on the floor with DeMichael, Netjes, Foussini Dramé, and Clark and Grant are both in there. I knew that Grant wouldn't be out long. He's been off on his shooting this half. He still leads the Dukes, so
he's 6 of 15 from the floor, yeah.
Yeah. Basketball intercepted by Clark on a breakaway for the stuff. He did what he does best. He stole the ball and went to coast to coast.
Rim didn't stuff him that time, Ray. Rim didn't stuff him that time.
Could be the play of the game. The Dukes lead it by 4. Outside Hall to the left sideline. Gets a screen. Throws to top side right. Back to Hall. Left sideline to Robinson. He's their top gun. Here he starts his dribble drive. Then he's held up. He gives it to Hall. Hall throws it inside. Traore lays it in. As they hang in there. 60-58 Duquesne. Traore didn't miss that one. Forecourt comes Clark. 2:16 to go. Clark to the left sideline. Off a screen by Netjes. To the right, drives to the basket. Shovels a bad pass. It's intercepted by Hall. They're trying to break. Saunders falls down, but he was fouled. He was fouled. And the Dukes.
It's going to be the third on DeMichael.
After this will be 1-1. 26 to shoot, 2:05 to go. Dukes by 2, 60-58 BYU ball. Robinson, who leads everybody with 25 points, inbounds into the backcourt to Johnson. Now to Hall to run the attack against Clark. Outside it goes to Saunders, left sideline to Robinson. DeMichael, a tough job on him, not a haul. He throws deflected, and Robinson looks for the steal, but it comes inside and a layup and it's stuck. And a tie ball game as Traore makes it 60-all with 1:41 to go. Dukes need a basket to untie it. They almost had the steal but couldn't get it. Clark to the right. Clark dribble drive. Comes again to the left. In for the layup, and it bounces off, but he's fouled. He'll be at the line for a couple with 1:28 to go. 2 shots coming up for Jimmy Clark at the line. And he's a 71% shooter.
4 for 4 against VCU in the championship game. Really good at the stripe in the A-10 tournament.
Tie ball game at 60 on Traore's stuff. Shot is on the way and good on the first. Dukes regained the lead.
They've stuck with it with Traore, haven't they? I mean, for as many problems as he's had, still got 11 shot attempts in this second half. They've gone to him a bunch.
Clark for the second. Dukes by 1. By 2 as he hit 2 biggies. 62-60 Duquesne. And forecourt will come Hall. Fans are really into it. What an exciting first round game. Hall out front. Dribble drive to the baseline. Gives it to Traore. Traore drives. 8-footers up. No go and a rebound Duquesne. Foussini Dramé the rebound. The basket would give them a 2-score advantage. 1:06 to go. 20 to shoot. Dukes by 2. 62-60. Outside it comes to DeMichael. DeMichael to Dixon. Dixon. Lead pass. Layup. Missed. Underneath. And going down. Was there a foul? No.
Yes, there was.
There was a foul.
Yes.
Clark will go to the line with 49.9 to go. He got too far underneath the bottom part of the rim coming up.
I thought he did. He did do it again. He got stuffed in the VCU game by the rim. This time he tried to go up with 2 hands. He got fouled in the back, though, this time. I think that affected his elevation, and he couldn't get the ball over the rim. If he goes and lays it in, though, Ray, maybe he's trying to get a 2-and-1 right now.
He's back at the line. He just hit 2 to give the Dukes the lead. Shot is on the way. Good on the first. It's a 3-point advantage. The second one would give them a 2-score lead with 49.9 to go. The Duquesne fans behind us are on their feet. He takes a deep breath. Jimmy Clark. Second one on the way. No! And the rebound taken off. Loose. Stolen by Duquesne momentarily. Big scramble for it. Possession arrows Duquesne's. 4 players on the floor. They scrambled and got that rebound. 44.6 to go. Duquesne leads it by 63-60, and they have the ball. They'll throw it in right in front of our broadcast position courtside here.
Timeout coming. Timeout coming from BYU.
BYU does call a timeout.
Wow.
What a game, huh?
I mean, I was just sitting back and listening to you, Ray. Lets you do all the work. I was kind of in the zone there watching the whole thing, biting my nails like everybody else in the stands behind us. We are just feet away from the Duquesne rooting section, as you can hear, and Jimmy Clark looked so true for his first 3 free throws, and that one was too strong off the back rim. In fact, it came out so hot, it overshot the BYU players underneath, and Jimmy was alert about it. He reached in with both hands, bounced off his hands. Foussini Dramé was there to disrupt things too, and this time they got the benefit of the possession arrow. It wasn't quite like that play that we saw in the Loyola game. Remember that? The Loyola game against St. Bonaventure, where Alston got his own rebound and put it back in for a dunk. But it was similar timing and circumstances to extend the possession. So that's a huge break for Duquesne after the free throw miss.
Dukes come on the floor. DeMichael, Grant, Clark, Dixon, and Foussini Dramé. And throwing it in will be Grant, right to the right of our broadcast position courtside here in Omaha, Nebraska. Pass comes to someone. They got to call a timeout.
Yeah, good defense.
Ooh.
Really good defense by BYU coming out of the timeout. There wasn't anybody open.
Duke's lead it by 63-60.
Hey, you know what? I know nobody wants to burn a timeout in that situation, but that was smart by Grant, because if he panics and forces a pass, it's a turnover because everybody was covered. I just give credit where it's due. BYU did everything it needed to do coming off the inbounding action after the timeout.
44.6 to go in the game. 20 seconds on the shot clock for Duquesne.
You know what? There was some confetti falling again. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see
One
it.
or two little pieces. All the Duquesne fans were pointing at it. That was a pretty good omen last time, right?
Yeah, it was. It worked out. Grant is the inbounder usually, and he comes over, but they got to get a man free. And BYU is playing tough defense.
Look at that cut on DeMichael's knee.
They break. They throw it to DeMichael in the backcourt, which is allowed. He throws it forecourt to Dixon, and now they get Clark right sideline to DeMichael. DeMichael back out to Clark. 8 to shoot. Duke's going to have to move now. Clark drives to the basket, is in for the layup, and scores! Clark did it, and the Dukes lead it with 26 seconds to go by 5. Forecourt haul for BYU. Looks around, looks for anyone. And a foul on Duquesne with 19 seconds to go. How about Jimmy Clark with a clock down? Takes it to the hole hard and left-handed dropped it in.
It's a great drive by Clark, but he just picked up his 4th foul reaching in.
And Netchus will come in for Duquesne. And Dixon goes out. Duke's lead at 65-60. And the clock shows 19.0. 19 seconds exactly to go. Hall at the line for the Cougars. 62% free throw shooter. Duke's at 2 scores. It's a 1-and-1. He has to make the first to get the second. Shot on the way. He scores and he'll get the second. It's 65-61. 19 seconds to go.
Give credit to this kid after getting popped in the nose, may have broken his nose and played the whole game pretty much since.
Yeah. Second one coming for Hall. Also good. Duke's at 1 score lead by 3. They don't have to shoot the ball. They'll try to foul someone who's not a good free throw shooter, and they foul Netchus immediately. 17.7 to go. Netchus at the line is 60%. Do they have 10? They have 10 fouls. He needs to make one of them, Tim. 2 would be nice, but 1 would be plenty.
I know Grant does the inbounding like you just mentioned. In a situation like this, do you want somebody else inbounding so you can get it to Grant?
Well, you think of that. Line? You think of that, of course. But they
maybe it comes right back to him. If it's,
yeah.
I get that point too.
Netchus, the big left-hand freshman. No one on the free throw line for Duquesne. Left-handers on the way. Good! That's a biggie. It gives them a 66-62 lead by 4 with 17.7 to go.
Keith Dan brought one finger out, yelling at the other 4 players. One stop, one stop.
Second one on the way. Count it. How about that freshman? Duquesne by 5, 67-62. Hall forecourt. They're going to have to push it. Hall all the way to the basket, lays it up, missed it. But the Dukes foul him. Good grief. Good thing he missed it. He can only make 2.
It's Netchus who committed the foul.
With 12.6 to go.
I got to reiterate the point. You got to give this Hall kid a lot of credit. 6 assists, 36 minutes since he got his nose busted. Hasn't forced the action too much.
He's only a sophomore. His first one's on the way. It's good. 67-63. The second one was cut it down to a 1-score lead, but albeit a 3-pointer. 12.6 to go. Duke's hanging on. Trying to get to Saturday's game. Hall takes his time. Second one, also good. Dukes will inbound, and they'll foul in a hurry. They get it in. Back. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Who is a foul?
Yeah, it was a foul. They got it back to Grant this time.
Yeah. Johnson on the foul.
Drame took an extra second. I think Drame felt like he had already drawn the foul. He didn't get the whistle. He gave it to Grant, and Grant got shoved as he was catching the ball.
Well, that's the guy you want at the line.
Hasn't shot a free throw yet today.
And he missed 2 out of 3 the other day.
It's always the first one he misses. Haven't we said that before?
Yeah. He's got 2. 93.9. Tops in the A10. First one's on the way. Good. 68-64.
Ray, he's stepping even further back than he normally does. I wonder if he changed that. You know, he steps back a little bit. Look, he's another foot back.
Yeah, he's a good foot, or 14 inches back of the line. Dukes by 2 scores with 10.7 to go. Second one, also good. 69-64. Here they come, Hall. Dukes do not want to foul. Hall, a 30-footer. He hit it. 69-67 with 5.7 to go. They still breathe a little hope. The Dukes, after this timeout, will have the ball coming in bounds. 5.7. How about Hall? He's been sensational down the stretch for them. The sophomore point guard. First it was Robinson, who still leads him with 25 points. Hall now with 11.
Just scored the last 7 points and the 4 free throws in that three-pointer.
Dukes only have 2 guys in double figures, and that's their 2 all-star guards. Grant has 15, and Clark has 12.
Now remember, Clark started this game 1.
No, correction, I'm sorry. 17 for Grant. Netchus has 12. Clark has 11. So we have 3 guys in double figures.
Yeah, Clark started out, 1-for-8 rather, from the floor, and has made 3 of his last 4 shots, and they've all been crucial late in the game. And that's been the biggest difference between Duquesne early and Duquesne late.
Here's something. They're out of timeouts. It's 69-67. They have no timeouts left.
Duquesne has 1.
Yeah. But if the Dukes get fouled and even miss, it's pretty hard to come up, but 5.7 is enough time.
That's enough time.
Yeah.
Let's see how much rolls off as they get the ball inbound, how much they can run off before they get fouled here.
First, they got to get the ball in bounds. They will get fouled quickly once they do, if they do. Let's hope they can get it in bounds, because BYU, with a steal and a 3, could win it, which would be disastrous as the Dukes have led throughout. Inbounding. Who's going to get it? It comes in, and and now they foul Grant. He'll get a couple. Boy, that worked perfectly. Netchus got it before they could get to him, and he's a good free throw shooter. He handed it off to Grant, who got fouled with 4.3 to go. His 2 should sew it up.
The only thing that didn't go perfectly was not a lot of time came off.
I know.
Yeah.
Day, who just hit 2, goes through his routine. First one's in the air, in the basket. 70-67. The second one will give them a 2-day more stay here in Omaha, because I don't think they can win it with 2 baskets in 4.3 seconds. Day for the second. Good. 71-67 Duquesne. Hall with it. He'll dribble, and he throws up a one from midcourt. Out of bounds it goes. It's all over, and great ghosts alive. The Dukes win their first game in the NCAA tournament, 71-67 over the highly favored BYU Cougars. What a ball game for the Dukes. Led throughout, only trail 1 time by 1 point, and they'll play the winner of Illinois against Morehead State on Saturday. And the Duquesne fans are just delirious behind us. 71-67, the Dukes win it over highly favored BYU. They put a tenth of a second.
Oh, they're putting
on
a tenth of a
Come
second
on,
on the shot clock, or the game clock. They're saying that's when the ball went out on that heave from Hall.
You know, that always happens. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time. The ball goes out of bounds, but my gosh. 1/10 of a second left?
No, they're going to put .4 on.
.4?